I'm upset. No disrespect, respectfully. But disrespectfully is disrespect. Don't be disrespectful. Those vile, disgusting Spartans. Poor little bro, man. And I'm gonna tell him why I'm mad. That vile, disgusting cesspool in Columbus. The other state. And of course, as always, I'm upset. Good evening, good people. It is I, the Maize Mad Man. We are back. This is a special BlueTube call-in show. First and foremost, let me do this. I want to apologize to everybody who tuned in on Monday after the abrupt ending of the show. That was my fault. I let my emotions get the best of me. That won't happen again. I had to play the Lux, edit for myself.
Look at you emotional.
And usually I'm playing that for other people. So we'll get back to that. But secondly, you know why we're here. You saw the thumbnail, right? Now, all of those people on the thumbnail have been suspended, or there are show causes for every one of those people. That's Jesse Minter, that's Steve Klinkscale, Jim Harbaugh, now Sharon Moore, and Connor Stallions is in the middle of all of it, as we know. The NCAA and Michigan are in negotiations, at least that's what the word is, on a possible punishments for Michigan for Signgate as we know it. We're going to talk a little bit about that. We're going to talk about how Signgate is affecting other things for Michigan football, what it would mean if certain things happen in terms of a punishment for Michigan football and recruiting and other things. We'll get into all of that in just a second. But first, let me shout out my guys. First and foremost, my guy DK, he was here first. At least he made the first comment. Shout out to DK. Troy, my other guy. Appreciate you, OG. Shout out to Troy. Ron Embry is always here. That's my brother. Shout out to Ron. Preston, 0801, go blue, of course. And Bruce, appreciate you, go blue. Warwarski is always in the building. He has his own custom emoji, as many of you know. Shout out to Jay Marion, Jarvis Johnson, go blue. Shout out to everybody, man. My guy, the Dom father. Readings by Dom. You are my guy, Dom. You're my guy. Dom is a day one, by the way. Mike Layton, the biggest, by the way, Mike Layton, round of applause for Mike Layton. Every time I see Mike Layton, got to give him the utmost respect. Shout out to Mike Layton. He says, you know what, or there's something seriously wrong. They are hiding. Mike, it is either or. Listen, I'm not a big guy. I'm not a big fan of like witch hunt, using that word frivolously. I just messed up that word, but you know what I mean. I'm not a big fan of using the words like witch hunt, these buzzwords that they're after Michigan, things like that. Those are things that I don't want to get into the habit of using. That said, this is what we do know. We know that Jim Harbaugh stuck his nose up at the NCAA. And we also know that some of their rules are antiquated. Some of their thinking is antiquated. And they just they've lost a ton of court cases, right? That's why NIL exists now, because that was another loss in the court for the NCAA. But they are the governing body of the sport and college athletics, period, for the time being anyway, right? That said, I think that they would have liked to nail Jim Harbaugh. Absolutely. Let me take this out of the way so you can see my face here. Absolutely. They would have loved to nail Jim Harbaugh to the stake, right? For multiple reasons, multiple reasons, not the least of which his, hesitancy or, just outright refusal to cooperate with him in some cases, right? You add on to the fact Jim Harbaugh was a guy out in front a long time ago talking about revenue sharing. Guess who some of that revenue would be taking away from? That governing body, as well as their, you know, the universities that are part of that, under that governing body, but mostly taking money out of the NCAA's pocket if revenue sharing became a thing, which looks like we may be headed that way, but that's neither here nor there. Also, Jim Harbaugh upset people in the South, mostly SEC country, when he first came back to Michigan with his satellite camps that the NCAA shut down in essence, because people like Nick Saban, people like the other coaches out at that time didn't appreciate what he was doing, coming down to SEC country holding satellite camps. And it wasn't just in SEC country, he did it in other places too, but you know what I'm saying. He started these satellite camps. He got a lot of attention on Michigan, who at the time definitely needed attention in terms of getting some recruiting buzz. We know early on he had great success on the recruiting trail, right? Couple top 5 finishes. I believe he had 2 top 5 classes, may have finished at 5, but 2 top 5 classes, had a class rate 7th. So he was doing good on the recruiting trail early on at his time at Michigan, right? And we can't say that those satellite camps didn't help. I'm sure that they did. And people understood that. And people understood the money that Michigan had to be able to, host these satellite camps, to be able to man these satellite camps. So it became an issue for, the less fortunate, right? I wish I had the TJ Ronan, hide your money, there's poor people around right now. But, in essence, that's what happened, and people weren't happy about it, right? The NCAA has eyes on Jim Harbaugh early in the game, right? Then you have what happened during COVID. I'm not going to rehash that. We understand. Yes, as some of the Michigan fandom, including my guy, Kinetic, would like to diminish it to it just being a burger, which I understand, and I'm behind that. It is just a burger. However, it is an infraction. They broke a rule, basically, right? And you got to be punished for it. Now, what the punishment is for just a burger, we can maybe come to an agreement there that's ridiculous, right? I digress. And fast forward to 2021. Michigan turns the table on their chief rival, gets a big win in the big house. Snow's falling, people rush the field. Juwan Howard's shaking Jim Harbaugh like a rag doll. That might have been, we should have known then that Juwan Howard liked to put his hands on coaches. Shout out to Juwan Howard. But you get what I'm saying, right? We get to that point, and then 2023 rolls around. Michigan's on a heater. Michigan is clearly, for most of that season, the best team in the country. And then, for maybe 3 or 4 weeks out of that time, you could argue Georgia, but Michigan seems to be the cream of the crop all season long. Then they get to the postseason and handle business and do exactly what we all thought that they could do in the previous year, but they handle business in 2023. Michigan becomes the national champion. And it wasn't really close, the national championship game. The Rose Bowl was a classic, instant classic. They handle business again at the big house against their chief rival. Big interception at the end by Rod Moore. The Honda McCord is sent off to Syracuse to live out the rest of his college years because he was exiled by that vile, disgusting cesspool in Columbus. The rest is history. Cool. We get to present day. A couple days ago, well, let's back it up. 3-4 days ago, the president, Santa Ono, lets everybody know he's leaving, which then, prompts people to speculate about the NCAA. I don't think those two things were linked, by the way, in terms of Signgate and Santa Ono, whatever. It could be the money that he was offered. There are rumors about that. But whatever it was, he's gone. There are people now backtracking, saying that Santa Ono was not as big of a Jim supporter as he let on, or that we believed. I haven't done my research on that. I'm going to reserve comment on it. But Santa Ono looked like he was pro Jim. He certainly was pro sports at Michigan. A lot of good things happened under Santa Ono in his short time. He was only there for 3 academic years, right? So there's that. Then, by the way, this is a call-in show, so you feel free to hop in, anybody. But let me finish where I was going here. All right. A couple days later, it's announced the next day, actually, not even a couple days, right? The next day, it's announced that Michigan head coach Jerome Moore will be suspended for 2 games, which now sends reverberations throughout the college football world, especially to our chief rival and, their cheerleaders, poor little bro them. And everybody wants to say, now we're back. Cheaters is probably one of the keywords to find Michigan under on that app formerly known as Twitter. All of that. We're right back in the muck. And we have a show on Monday where we're talking about these things. It goes a little left between me and one of my co-hosts because we are on the same side. I want that to be known. We're on the same side. I like to play devil's advocate because I think it moves the conversation. It helps the conversation, things like that. And by the way, I do agree. I am standing in the paint on some of the things I said. Some of that is not just playing devil's advocate. Some of that is just real, right? Like if it's one of 2 things it could possibly be. Either the coaching staff knew or they didn't know. And if they didn't know, then is that a reflection on the head coach and his, institutional or his lack of institutional control of the program, right? It's pretty black and white, at least in my opinion. And I'm not saying that Jim isn't a guy that doesn't have control. I'm also not saying that Jim is a guy that knew about what all the things that took place, or what went into Connor Stallions being able to decipher these signals, if you will, right? That's not something I'm going to do either. But I am saying there is blame to be doled out here. If you're a Jim Harbaugh fan, I understand you want to defend Jim Harbaugh. I'm a Jim Harbaugh fan. I think Jim Harbaugh is one of the greatest coaches of all time, across pro and college football. I think Jim Harbaugh was perfect for Michigan. He couldn't come back fast enough, if you ask me. When he did, I'm not talking about now. But when he did, I thought it was the perfect time. He turned the program around. He had to rebuild a great program already, right? Michigan's always been a great program, but we were bottom feeders at the time, right? For a stretch there, it was not good. But Jim Harbaugh comes in, he rights the ship, immediately winning 10 games, and whatever. I'm not gonna go back into history there. We agree that Jim Harbaugh is a great coach for the most part. I know everybody may not believe that, but I believe that. But that does not mean that Jim Harbaugh is impervious to criticism. We cannot be so caught up in fandom that we're not stationary, 2 feet down, silently in reality. And in reality, Jim Harbaugh has to get some blame. I'm not saying Jim Harbaugh deserves the 4-year show cause or however many years show cause he got. I'm not saying he deserved to be suspended when he was suspended, or however many games he was suspended. I am simply saying that Jim Harbaugh doesn't deserve nothing. If what is been said is true, he certainly deserves more than nothing, is the point I'm making, right? That's it. Anyway, I'm gonna put this link in the chat. Anybody who wants to jump up again, feel free. It's in the chat now. I'm gonna go through some of your comments because I've been talking a while, and then I'll hop back in. Doing a great job on the timeline of everything. M3. Shout out to my guy Garrison. I appreciate you, brother. Geez, Louise says where he actually did well. I don't know. I'm missing something, I'm sure. So I'm gonna go further up. Marski's shouting out everybody like he does. Everybody's guy. We love it. All right. Anyway, let's get back in here. I think lack of institutional control is knowingly allowing your staff to break and bend rules without consequences. I just don't see this here. Okay, Tim, that's fair. That's a fair point. I'm not going to argue your definition of lack of institutional control. And by the way, control is kind of, that's strong wording. I get it. That's strong. If you say somebody has lack of control, that's very strong. I'm not necessarily, because Jim Harbaugh, we all know, at least I believe, this is a guy that knew what he was doing and was running the program in a positive way, and in most times above board, right? So I'm not saying like he didn't have control, as in, everybody could run amok under his control. That's not what I'm saying, because when you say lack of institutional control, it's already abrasive. It feels like an attack on his personage, and that's not what I'm doing. But shout out to my guy Mike. What's good, Mike?
Man, living the dream. Glad to be on the show. Much love to everybody.
Yes, sir.
It's either there's something serious we're hiding,
right,
and we're trying to get out in front of it, or we're just bending over and taking it in the rear. And I hope that's not the case.
Yeah, so I agree. I do think getting out in front of it this way, but in terms of getting out in front of it, right? Let me address that. Sherrone Moore being suspended 2 games, if that's what it takes for this thing to start to go away, I am for that 1000%, especially if they're able. Hold on, I'm gonna put you on mute for a second, Marmar, because I know you got to work while I finish this point. But especially if it's those 2 games that they want it to be. If it's 3 and 4, fine. I would like to see him there for Oklahoma, not just for nostalgic purposes, but he's breaking in a new quarterback more than likely on the road in a big test, right? So I want to see him there for that. But if it's more than that, and by more than that, I mean if we get into the realm of where they're talking about we're vacating wins, we're vacating championships, then we are talking disgusting work, and heads should roll. But I don't necessarily believe that that's what's going to happen. I don't believe that that's where we are. But we'll see, man.
Prove me guilty. Prove it. You're guilt.
Right.
Repeat.
I agree with that point right there, right? If it gets to a point where they're talking about losing games and stuff like that, then we definitely need to see the proof, right? Because that would be crazy. First of all, Michigan's the first school to 1,000 wins. That may be in jeopardy. All of these things, all these accolades that were, accomplished and picked up during that span, right? During that from 21 to now. But anyway, shout out to GT. Let me get to the super chat. He says, quote, the uncompromising standards of Ward Manual I'll take words that nobody has ever said for 800, please, Alex. Shout out to GT. I appreciate you, man. He's got the best comments ever.
Shout out Orb, man. Shout out that Milk Dud.
Yo. So we'll get to Ward in a second here too. But I want everybody obviously to have a run at this. What do you guys think? Give your opinions. Let's talk about it.
What's up, Mike Layton?
What's up?
What up, though? You said what? I couldn't hear him.
I don't know.
I think he's covering his mic a little bit.
Yeah.
What up, Juju? What up, everybody? What up, Buckeye? What up, Buckeye Battle Cry? What up, Garrison?
What's up, man? So here's what I think is a possibility. You know, I was thinking about, how, so on the Michigan Voice of College Football yesterday, they're talking about the Board of Regents, being weak and betting the NCAA. Yeah. And, we've seen that in the past as well. And so here's what I think would be a possibility, because, I've been doing my own research, looking at, the pattern, and just seems like everybody from that, the Harbaugh regime is getting show causes, suspension. So here's what I think could be a big possibility. I think that if it comes down to it, I think they'll give Sherrone Moore's job. I think that they're just done with just all the shade that's been thrown on the university as a whole. And I think if it came down to it being okay, like, let's say on the table is Sherrone a 1-year show cause and like sanctions toward the school, and this is where the negotiation comes in. I think they'll be okay. We'll give you Sherrone's job if we can get sanctions off the table. I don't know if that's possible, but that's just my thoughts. I don't know what you guys think as well. Point.
This is a good so, and this is negotiate. Now we're talking. This is real negotiation here, right? If it comes, and Michigan fans, I want you guys to comment on this. If it comes down to Sherrone Moore's job, but Michigan gets to keep all of the wins, the championships, Big Ten and national championship, where do you guys stand? Is Sherrone Moore being the head coach worth losing that for this 4-year history?
I just don't think that'll be. Actually, Garrison had his hand, so you can go.
Well, Juju, I think you were saying exactly what I was going to say. And I've been saying this for years. I don't think vacating wins in that championship is on the table. I don't think it's on the table. I don't believe it should be on the table. A, because I don't believe in that. B, because like me and my co-host, like not co-host, but I was with Mike the other day on Monday. We disagree with this, but I said I saw what in the playoff. We had 4 teams to play for it all. They were clearly the best team in that playoff, and so I just football for me. But I've kind of like what Rob was talking about with the show cause. Like I looked at what everyone else did. They got show causes, right? And then which in reality is less than what Sherrone Moore did. And I don't believe they wanted Sherrone Moore. I think they wanted Jim Harbaugh's head, like you said on the stage. And I think that when you see this, like it's one thing for the reasons are clearly feeling separate from what the program wants. But I think that what's happening right now is that the regions are upset because for them, the institution is what's most important. And I think it's kind of like a black mark on them in a way that they don't like. They think it's a black mark. They don't like it. And now you're getting a situation where, like, I think if you're Michigan and you're the AD and you're Warrior, you're kind of taunting the NCAA now because because right now, if Sherrone Moore gets that repeat offender, they are in their right to give him a show cause. And the problem becomes then is that the show cause won't happen this season. It would happen the following season, which essentially means you're firing Sherrone Moore. And I don't think that should happen. I know Juju and I talked about that, but yeah.
No doubt.
Good point.
Yeah, I agree. And to answer Battle Cry, I don't think that would be on the table either because, I don't agree with a lot of Ward things, but I don't think he's that dumb to sign him to a contract if that would ever be on the table. And if it came, but just hypothetically, if it came down to it, if that ever would, obviously you give that up or you fight it. Me, I'm fighting it. This shouldn't even be a question. Like me and Maize agreed. Like, bro, show some fucking backbone, bro. Like, you're self-imposing shit. NCAA ain't even said anything. It's like there's no proof of anything over the 2-year span of a scandal at all.
Well, so like I agree with you, but let's be clear here. So like when they were talking about there's nothing in the text messages, that was all pure speculation. No one knows what's in the text message. No one knows.
That's basically what I was arguing with Kinetic about.
I think that got lost.
Yeah, like sure, people have reported that the NCAA basically found nothing in the text messages or whatever, right? But the NCAA again hasn't said a thing. Number one, and then number two, we haven't even gotten to a point where discovery is a thing yet, right?
Yeah. I mean, he didn't. Yeah. The NCAA didn't say anything, but Sharon Moore did, and that's what gave me confidence. He said, "I can't wait for them to come out."
Right.
So,
and he did say that confidently.
If I was Sharon Moore,
I mean, he said, "Bro, he didn't stutter at all." So
right.
And he, like I said, he recovered and handed them over. So yeah, we don't know, but I'm real confident in that area. I just don't think, like, especially in the suspension another game. I think if you give him if they try to give him another game, I think you fight that shit. Like,
Juju, the rumors they're looking for 6. Which
I know. Yeah, I know. That's why they.
Which in reality, bro, like if he's a repeat offender. Like, I think what's getting lost in this, bro, is that like they're in their right to do this. Like,
yeah, they can be in their right to do it, but we all know if you take them the distance, their track record is not good.
That's fair.
Listen, they still Michigan still ain't sat down with the committee yet, so
that's in June.
That's fair.
Yeah, but they ain't sat down with them, so they thinking that them doing this right now, 3-week ban on the recruiting trail. Coming out with the suspension of Sharon for them 2 games that they got to choose.
That recruiting shit is from the last cycle still. It's not from
okay.
Yeah.
I think
so basically what I'm saying is they ain't sat down with the sleep. They ain't sat down with the committee yet. So them doing this right now, they can take this to the committee, and if the committee don't accept it, that's when I think that's when they're gonna fight it in the committee meeting. Like, bro.
I agree.
Mar, let me ask you a question.
It's a possibility.
If the police come to you, right, about a robbery that was done, and you believe yourself to be innocent, would you give them the gun and tell them that was the weapon?
That's what I don't understand.
Hey, yeah,
Mike said something earlier.
Why would I tell on my? But listen though, I'm not gonna tell on myself.
No sense, dog.
Yeah, but what you asking didn't make no sense because.
Mauer, if you don't believe, if you don't believe you've done anything wrong, right, and you've been saying that for the last few years, and you've continuously fought and fought and fought.
Hey, hold on, bro. We talking about right now. We talking about that they haven't sat down with the committee. Next month is when so they're doing this now. So when they go sit down with the committee, they be like, "Yo, we are doing this to prove to you that hey, this what y'all want. We ain't gonna cave, but we're gonna give you a little something so you can get off our back, so we can get this over with and move on in our lives."
Hold on, Mark.
So why not do it earlier, though? Why not do it earlier?
Rob, give me 1 second.
Because it's two different.
In the comment section.
It's two different.
Mark, hold on, bro. Hold on, bro. I'm gonna let you speak. Ghoster, I'm not banning you right now, but make this the last time you personally attack someone in the chat. That's it. All right, go ahead.
So basically what I'm saying is that they're putting the little eggs that they got in the basket. So when they go to sit down in front of the committee and be like, hey, this will represent to you from our side. You either gonna take it or leave it on Michigan behalf. And then if the committee say we're not going to take it, I think that I believe personally that Michigan in that committee meeting, if they don't, the NCAA don't sign off on any of this stuff that Michigan is doing from the Michigan side, I think that's when Michigan will fight and stand up in that committee meeting. Like, all right, well, if y'all are not going to sign up for this and accept this, we are going to go on to the next step and take it to the courtroom.
All this shit has been blown out of proportion, and we haven't done ourselves any favor. That's just the bottom line.
True. I mean, like, but here's the thing. I remember back in 23 when this first was come to fruition. Michigan said they were going to fight the Harbaugh suspension. There was an apparent injunction. Then all of a sudden they're stepping back, and then Harbaugh suspended.
That's the Big Ten, though. Not the NCAA.
I'll believe that Michigan's going to fight when I actually see it.
I mean, they backed down because they didn't have time. There was no
Buckeye battle cry.
They didn't. The
reason why they didn't fight. Sorry, Judy.
No, you're good. But that's what a lot of people miss. Like, they weren't going to be able to get the shit in time before the game.
Yeah.
So they kept working it. They weren't granted it in time. It would have been.
Yeah, and not just that. Even the Penn State one, according to Sharon Moore, Jim Harbaugh didn't want to make it about himself. For that one. But I will acquiesce that Michigan was doing a lot of wolf ticket selling, if you will, right, with what they were going to fight and things like that, and that wasn't necessarily the case. But I also agree with what Juju is saying, and also Jim Harbaugh not wanting to make it all about him and make it about the program is a big deal.
I mean, did you see what was in Tony's letter as well? When he ultimately suspended him, he basically said, "I have no proof that you're doing this, where there is no evidence, but I'm going to suspend you anyway," and we just took it. Like,
so Juju, I think what's getting lost here, man, is the fact that
that was the Board of Regents' fault, right? Why Michigan took that.
But this, all right. So guys, like this is where I think is getting lost in this. I think because we're all football fans, right?
Yeah.
And I think what's getting lost is people got to remember, I'm from the state of Michigan, so I respect that institution. The University of Michigan is the most important public university in the United States, especially around the world. Has a lot of connections spreading out. Mind you, and we're football fans. So for us, when we see this and we see our Board of Regents your Board of Regents getting mad, you're thinking about football. I think fans forget that football is low on the totem pole of things for regents to worry about.
Of course.
And I think that in Juju, not Juju, but Mar, you made a point talking about what the school is doing, trying to fight this out, and everyone's talking about fighting it out. I even with the suspension thing and trying to use that as negotiation, on Crane and Co., Steve Deese and what's the quarterback's name that went to Michigan?
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, but they both agreed on this, and everyone else did. SEC teams and Ohio State would never do this. You have to come knock down the damn door and force us to open our file.
Bro, Tennessee gave the middle finger, bro.
Huh?
Tennessee gave the middle finger.
SEC teams and Ohio State are not doing this.
All right.
And I think that I've always joked when I say this, when I say Ohio State, we're used to our team, our coaches get in trouble, it's whatever. I think what we're seeing is a program and an institution that's not used to going through anything like this.
Yeah.
That's true.
Because you touch on the regions, and this whole time I've been thinking, how much are the regions involved? How much are they hey, we got to get this under control versus the sports program?
Michael, you're right. Because Michael, what you got, where people forgetting is that and I've given Ward Mayo a lot of credit because I think football fans are forgetting he had a hockey scandal during COVID where they were creating fake COVID cards. He had a baseball scandal. He had a coach that couldn't keep his hands off of other team coaches and players that wouldn't do the same. Ward Manuel was going through a lot of other stuff in his athletic department to where where he does it like where football's doing this, and again, like maybe I understand if someone says like Garrison, you're a Buckeye and all that. Fine, I understand it. I understand why people say it too.
No, you're stating facts.
But I think people forget how low on the totem pole football is for these universities.
I brought this up before, like in the maybe 3 months ago, how much Michigan's endowment is, right? And how when you look at like those numbers every year, that's like the football program brought in, $180 million, right? Or, whatever. And then if you look at the endowment of the University of Michigan, how much that makes the $180 million that the football program look like nothing it's insane. Real quick though, Fart Smeller, don't be so incredulous when my guy says that Michigan's the most important public university in the country.
Man,
It
what
is.
the fuck?
Do some research, my guy.
There's a
Bro, his name says it all.
about.
What the hell?
There's a 10 to 15% acceptance rate for a reason.
Bro,
And that's a
I had a
public
friend
university.
Bro,
who's
why
high
exactly,
school,
bro? Like, why do you think we can't get these players that Ohio State and Oregon are getting? They have to be grad transfers.
Well, wait, Juju, that's not true because in the
Bro,
NCAA for public universities, everyone goes to the same clearinghouse. So that's actually not true. And that's a rumor that.
No, I'm saying it's hard, bro. It is hard as fuck.
No,
to get
no, Juju.
So
Not
so
for
that
athletes.
this is what I heard from my nephew because he was on the team. He said, "Hey, just because you get a scholarship to play football doesn't mean you automatically get accepted in the college you apply for. It's a whole
transcripts
separate thing.
They gotta pass, bro.
No, there are certain things you need, but I've been through the NCAA clearinghouse. There's a certain specifics you have to hit as a football athlete to go there. And of course, there's minimums you can't touch. But that's what I'm saying. But I'm sorry, Maize, what were you just talking about? Someone was talking about something and we were on that.
On what?
What were you just talking about?
But we lost 3 portal players because of this shit.
I was talking about the guy being incredulous to you saying that Michigan's the most important.
I don't think that's not debatable.
That's not even debatable.
Like in the state of Michigan, the medical field one is huge, especially like in my city of Grand Rapids. That's and beer is what we live off of, the marijuana. And
the Ivy League is
full
of private schools, right? Smart smell it. Like this person, you're not a smart person. I'm gonna stop talking.
Hey, Juju, I used to live on Venus Street in GR.
Bro,
Garrison.
From GR.
Oh, you are?
Listen, no one's saying Michigan's the Ivy League school. I mean Northwestern's a better academic than Michigan, but it's up there. And for public universities, it's the best.
Yeah.
Shout out to my state.
Shout out to my state. This guy.
Anyway,
let's talk about an important thing coming up.
My taxes go to that university. I'm allowed to say that.
No doubt.
Hey, Garrison, you a Michigan fan on God?
I'm a GVSU fan. Wayne
you're
State
a Michigan
fan.
State, bro. That's
Wayne State is crazy, bro.
Fair State, Northern Michigan,
and a Cowboys fan.
No Western Michigan love.
No, Western Michigan. I hate Central.
There you go. That's a dub.
And you're a Cowboy fan.
As of today, yes. I came out of the portal.
Okay.
Bro, they're an 8-win team, bro.
Oh, yeah. Oh, you switched up since y'all got Pickens, huh?
Right,
yeah, I was about to ask about that.
Yeah, he switched it up since they got Pickens, huh?
Hey, NIL. That was part of the NIL package.
There you go.
So
look, we got an important date coming up, right? That date, June 6th, and I believe 7th too, is when.
Hey, hold on, Maize. That is my mom, my dead mom's birthday, June 6th, 1926.
Rest in peace to your
Hey,
mother.
man, that's what's up. So that's gonna be good news.
Hopefully, that would be great. Hey, yo, no, I'm not touching that, bro.
Yeah.
Who said that? Yo,
Harbaugh the way of the world on this.
Yo,
Hey,
I'm gonna be looking up.
hey, listen. Hey, yeah, June 6th, I'm up there every day. You feel me?
that's what you should be outside the courtroom or outside wherever they're meeting.
I'm gonna look up and pray to
Yeah,
my
they don't want me at that. They don't want me there. I'll cut up.
Nah,
Nah,
you need
just
to
playing.
speak. That's what's up.
Yeah, I will.
Absolutely. But those are important dates to know. That is when the committee will be meeting, I believe, with representatives from Michigan, right? We should get some news out of that from that day. I'm sure Pete Thamel will be there.
Can I ask you a question, Maize?
Go
Why
ahead.
y'all get so mad at someone for reporting the job as a journalist?
Bro,
First of all,
because
don't do
because he
y'all.
did
Don't do
all
y'all.
this shit, right? He did all this shit, and he's got so much. He report fast as fuck when it's against us, and his ass didn't show up to Ann Arbor on college football game day. A pussy, bro.
Wait. So it's
No, he was there.
Wait. So
No, he
most
wasn't.
of the-
Threats on his life, man.
Yeah, wait. Most of the leaks that have happened look like they come from your guys' side. Someone's telling him this news.
Nah, bro. First of all, don't do that. Secondly, Pete Thamel, I believe he was there. He just wasn't outside.
Exactly. Come outside.
But bro, first of all, didn't Desmond Howard like say why he ain't outside? Like after that, there was no coming outside.
Hey, bro.
Nah,
I don't want those Gippsland locals coming to see me. No.
Nah, if I'm doing that, I'm going face first to all the Buckeyes, bro. I'm puffing my chest.
Bama works for Day's brother. I hope you know what? I really hope that no one's talking about Ryan Day's brother being a part of this anymore, man.
No, just like no one could talk about the catapult. No one could talk about the catapult bullshit that said that we were doing and shit. So
I actually saw an old tweet about it was you guys ever seen the X account Blue Blood Bias? They're the ones who report about the Ohio State hacking the catapult system as well. So it was kind of like it was both ways, saying like, oh, they hacked Wisconsin's practice footage.
Hold on, wasn't that a narrative made up by what's my boxing calls him cocaine? What's
some shit?
Boxing? What's that guy's name? Anyway, my guy is here. I'm sorry. I'm lacking.
Johnny, you late.
What up?
There you go. Cocaine Zach.
Okay.
Oh, hey. Whoa. I had this muted, and the first thing I hear is what?
Boxing calls that man Cocaine Zach.
Wait. Have you ever heard of Cocaine Day?
I have not.
Cocaine Lion Day? Oh man.
Nah.
When he gets crazy.
That boy's sober. Actually depressed every time he plays it, so I wouldn't know.
Yo,
yeah.
He probably doing some rails before and after the game.
He gonna need that shit in November.
Are you admitting that you don't watch Ohio State at all except for that one game then? So I can't.
No, I know what you're talking about in the playoff.
No, but we are saying that we believe he is hitting the rails before and after those games.
Oh, by the way, shout out to my baseball team. So.
How many teams you got?
This
man is a chameleon, bro.
Don't you root for like Michigan State basketball?
This man is a chameleon of sports.
This is
bro.
gross.
I'll be right back.
No,
we've seen enough, Garrett.
This is nasty work, man.
He wearing a Vanderbilt shirt. What's wrong with him?
That's gross.
How does he pick these?
Bro, who you think you are, bro? Walmart shit, baby.
Hey, facts. What up, Johnny?
Crazy.
What up, Mark?
It's whoever was winning when he first started watching. That's
like Drake, man. He's got a
85 days, Cupcakes. OSU gonna have to spend $40 million to have a chance of beating Michigan. It has been 1,985 days since Michigan lost to the other state. This is gross. Hey, we got the black this screen out, bro.
Ooh, get that out of here.
That's nasty work.
That is.
Hey, bro, their basketball team gonna suck this coming year, bro.
I mean, y'all act like I don't have a 10-point buck on my arm that doesn't say Michigan made. I'm a Spartan, bro.
I'm a Spartan is crazy.
That man has Michigan made on him, bro, and never mind, bro.
I'm from Michigan, Juju.
I know you from Michigan, bro. I wonder, do you show that tattoo off when you go to the shoe?
I show it off when I go to the beach. I have great shoulders.
Hey, by
Nobody wanted to know
the
that.
way, you weren't here the other day, Garrison. You weren't here Monday, but if you were here Monday, there was a certain person in our chat that, speaking of your great shoulders, would appreciate pause. Super pause me. But yeah.
God damn, what the fuck is going on, bro?
They were talking about their affinity for you.
A lot of people. A lot of people in your guys' chat do that.
You know what? I'm muting you. That's
disgusting.
That's gross work, man. Anyway, let's talk about it. Johnny, what do you think? By the way, let me pose this question. Rob posed this question. If it came down to Sharon Moore losing his job and Michigan facing no more consequences, would you take that?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Wait, Johnny, are you saying
I would go
that,
help him pack his things.
Johnny,
Get your shit. You gotta go.
University over an African American having a job?
Hey. He'll get another one,
bro.
He'll get another one. I mean, it ain't like he working at somewhere like he never gonna get another job. Like,
and I'll say this about Sharon Moore as well. He's actually I actually think he's a really good coach.
Yeah, he'll be fine.
I do too.
Yeah, I think he's a great coach.
Right, but you got to go.
Great yet?
You got to go.
I think he's a good bro.
I see what you did there, M3. I see what you did there.
He has to go.
I think he's a good coach. I mean, now good head coach has to be determined, but good coach.
He said, "Yeah, no hesitation, absolutely."
Hey man, you lucky as midweek service on being calm.
There we go, man. He's a great coach.
But that's not even a question, though, bro. Like. We have 3 we have 3 coaches on the staff that have experience, bro. I think we're gonna be okay, bro.
Yeah, I'll be okay. Yeah. I'll be okay. Yeah.
I think okay, the 2 games that they proposed that he be suspended for.
Johnny?
I'm not gonna lie. That shit
I know what you be doing, bro.
Right? Who do you think should be the head coach of those games?
Santa Ono.
I got Biff Coach.
Biff, without a doubt. What the hell?
Biff over Wink.
Yes, because
I was thinking Wink, man.
I think Wink should be the head coach.
Let the coordinators coordinate.
Yeah, I want Wink to focus on the defense still.
Biff can, bro. He's been a head coach.
Bro, he went to Charlotte and they were
bro, was he surrounded by a staff like we'd have?
No, he wasn't.
And what's he there for? I mean, he's
literally his job title to be assistant head coach.
Exactly, assistant head coach. Okay, hey,
but so what?
Bro, man, hold on. We're gonna act like
everybody's saying Biff. By the way, Biff.
We're gonna act like Biff wasn't a huge compliment to Jim Harbaugh.
Biff.
Hey, M3. You know what's funny? So Larry Johnson for Urban Meyer was the assistant head coach, but in the game that did Rob remind me? Did they give Larry that? Was he the head coach on the sideline that game?
Nah, man.
Yes. So just because you were the assistant head coach, don't mean
you
should be that coach. And that's
the
why
bottom line is he's had Juju.
My question is,
all of these
you pick the person with the most potential.
Has your OC has been a long time high school head coach? Is that correct?
Yes.
Let him be the head coach. He's also the play caller. Why not?
Did you just say high school, bro?
That's what Biff was.
Wow.
That's what Biff was.
What has Biff Poggi done that's relevant? Like today?
No, I'm just for the specific reason of I want the coordinators to coordinate.
I agree.
They're really
everybody's saying Biff.
This
is crazy.
But at the same time, it's like I don't think there's any wrong. There's no wrong answer to me because, bro, it is fucking Central Michigan and Nebraska, bro. They're not world beaters. Like I'm cool with that.
I'm not going to dismiss Nebraska. I'm not
dismissing Nebraska.
But hold on though. Biff got a chance. He did go be a head coach in Charlotte. He was fired, bro. He was fired in Charlotte because he was so bad at the job.
Call timeouts. Make sure nothing gets
That's
up.
all, bro. Is all you, bro. Chip Lindsey's gonna be the game plan of the offense,
bro. We saw Nebraska
head coach of the defense.
Like I just don't think it matters. Scare
bro.
Into the other state last year in their building. We are going to Nebraska, right? I'm right about that. Yeah. We're going to Nebraska. With Biff Poggi. I'm not saying Biff can't get it done. I'm just saying that he had his opportunity to be a head coach at a smaller school. He did so well that he was fired at that smaller school. And you guys are talking about saying he should be the head coach like it's just an open and shut case here. That's crazy.
Hey, Maize.
It's just our opinion.
Hey, Maize.
Yeah.
those two games.
Like Brady, in the words of Brady Hawk, this is Michigan.
Hey, this.
Coordinator Cook.
Let me cook on this for a second.
That's fair. Go ahead, Johnny.
So, I think what they did was, and which is why they didn't do it those first couple games, with it being the third and fourth game, you're gonna have time to install more stuff for, well, Nebraska, Central Michigan. They're gonna get mollywopped most likely regardless. But so that gives you 3 weeks before you play Nebraska to already have installed some of what you want to actually do.
Johnny, they already installed.
You get what I'm saying? So whoever the head coach is, it's not like it's a clean slate and he's got okay, this is what we want to actually do. They're already probably going to have that in place somewhat. What Sharon wants to do. You get what I'm saying? Since it's week 4, not week 1 or 2.
What? What is Tyler talking about here? Here's the funny thing.
What I'm saying, I mean, it's the offseason too.
You guys want us destroyed and never come back to relevancy, but since
you got to see, you got to be able to see what Nebraska's going to do during the season. You know what I'm saying? You can install some stuff now, but you don't know exactly what you're going to.
That's fair.
I guarantee you, their main focus right now is
defense and offense and things like that.
That's fair. Let me address Tyler really quickly. Tyler wants some attention, and I'm gonna give it to him. He said, here's the funny thing about you Michigan fans. If the roles were reversed, you guys would want us destroyed. It never come back to relevancy. I don't know what you're trying to say, but since the shoe's on the other foot, you don't like it.
Let me cook on this one.
Go ahead, Black Hat.
Bro, as much as we don't like y'all, we need y'all to be good.
Hell yeah.
As much as we don't like y'all, we need y'all to be good. This relationship between us doesn't work if one of us sucks. It's just how it is.
and listen, Black Hat's being nicer than me, all right? Because I'm going to say, if your program never won another game in my lifetime, it would be too soon. I don't care if Ohio State never wins, if they never field another team. If I want if this were Ohio State, you're right, Tyler, I would be dancing on your graves that haven't been plotted yet. I would be moonwalking right now, back and forth across this camera, because that's how much I despise that vile, disgusting cesspool in Columbus, Tyler. Tyler, there's nothing to like about your program. You understand? I don't like the scarlet and gray. It's red. I don't like it. I don't like the way that your stadium in an aerial view looks just like a toilet seat at Walmart. I don't like it. I don't like your coach wearing blush and
just for men
and lipstick. I don't enjoy that. I don't enjoy watching that.
This man reciting Kendrick, bro.
This man. No, first of all, I'm not doing that. But I also don't like I don't like that we can go to the store and all the Just for Men is gone because your coach has it all. I don't like any of it.
Crazy.
Right? I don't like him jumping into the arms of his players.
Disgusting.
Gross.
Bro, when they were pushing him around in that pregame, I about fucking died, bro.
I don't like. Did you see him running? He like they were playing baseball or something, and
like,
he was running.
What are you doing, bro?
He looked like Tinkerbell or something. I don't enjoy it.
Like got out the short bus.
All right.
Bro, I was like, what the
Rob, I'm sorry that you have to hear this. I'm sorry.
But here's the thing, I don't understand like all this hate for Ryan Day outside of football. Like he's a good person.
We just poking fun at him as a coach.
Ryan Day might be a good person, Rob. You might be right. Although I did hear him call out an elderly man.
Yes,
on
I get
national
it.
television.
That is insane, bro.
That was a bad move.
That was a bad look.
That was a really bad look.
Yeah. All right.
And we called y'all soft. We didn't call y'all soft that time.
All of football called y'all soft.
Ryan
Exactly.
Day. I like Ryan Day. I don't hate him. He would just remind me of the old guy that's always trying to get at Nick in the Family Guy.
Yo,
He's
by the
just
way,
John Cooper
I
with
want
a-
Ryan Day to
Herbert,
continue to
Herbert.
be your head coach in perpetuity. I would like for Ryan Day to be the other state coach forever. Will you stay with me forever, Mr.
Wait,
Bean?
Battle Cry.
Hey,
Hold on, bro. I just have one question. Like, why I can't stand what he does so now. Why can't he ever just admit he lost? Bro, you
Yeah.
lost. You know
Yeah.
this, bro. The last 4 years he lost in Michigan, it's always this and that. I'm a play away. We were the better team. We just, man, just say you lost, bro.
Pretty
I
much.
said you soft, so what? What you gonna do? What?
Don't no man call me soft. I hate that, all right?
Wait, let me slow you down, cause I'm a man. I called you soft, first of all. Now, I don't like you swelling all up and all. What's all this swell up shit? What's that about? What you taking in all this air for, Claude? What you feeling, huh? What's on your mind, huh? What, you gonna put your chin up? Huh? That means something to me? Cause I said soft? Cause I said soft, so what? I spell it. S-O-F capital T. Soft. Huh? How you like that? What you gonna do, Claude?
Just
All right,
for you, Tyler.
So, some coaches, they love to give the runaround, and just like I don't get it either. It does seem like, there's some excuses here and there. But other than that, I'm gonna go back to the point, Ryan Day's still a young head coach, trying to figure it out. So, I'm gonna give him the benefit of the doubt.
While we got you here, let me ask you this. Is
Yeah.
Ryan Day a great head coach?
Here we go with that question, man.
Hey, this has broken a lot of
Bro, I hate this topic, bro.
I would say that let me get the whole thing out, all right?
All right. No, the floor is yours.
I would say that he's on his way to being there. Is he a great head coach in the rivalry? No, he's not. He has a Michigan problem. Just like Kirby Smart has an Alabama problem. Doesn't matter who the head coach is at Alabama. Kirby Smart is allergic to wins against them. It looks like right now that it looks like it doesn't matter who the Michigan head coach is. Ryan Day is allergic to beating Michigan. But what I will say, and I think I discussed this the last time. It was actually Johnny Old's show. I will say that his record, it's impressive. It's against the easy teams, but the coaches
You still got to beat them. That's fair.
Yeah, you still got to beat them. But the thing that I was thinking about, like when the fan base saying let's fire Ryan Day, I always gave him the benefit of the doubt until I did say something after that last Michigan game. I said, hey, like, one, who's out there on the market that is better? And two, it's not like, Ohio State's, getting into this big slump. He's winning all the games he should be. And he's a young head coach trying to figure it out, and he's losing to the better teams. So
you said it. You said what he can't say.
Yeah, that's an honest assessment.
Absolutely.
But yeah, I would say he's on his way to being there. I mean, the dude,
and I think that's fair.
The dude is 70-10. Just won the national championship. Yes, he's got to catch up in the rivalry. But we'll get that bit because I did have some thoughts about M3. You said about wishing Ryan Day is going to be the head coach there forever.
In perpetuity. Forever and ever. Look, let me say this, because I don't necessarily even think that he has to win. He has to, get the record straight with Michigan to be great necessarily, right? Like Roger Federer couldn't beat Rafael Nadal. Nobody's saying he's not great, right? I think though that the difference is with him and guys like Kirby Smart and Dabo Swinney, who are the guys that are most brought up the most when discussing him and his greatness. Those guys had to turn something around at those programs, right? He didn't necessarily have to turn anything around. You guys had won a national championship 5 years before he got the head coaching job. You were in the playoffs, annually.
Third base.
So he didn't have to change anything, or he had to make big changes for you guys to be successful. Whereas Dabo Swinney had to overcome Florida State first, right? Because they were the class of the ACC. Then he had to overcome Alabama and Nick Saban, right? And the same with Kirby Smart. He had to come there, fix with Richt. Is it Mike Richt or whatever his name was?
Yeah.
Right, whatever, however you say that.
I got a question though about that.
Yeah, go ahead.
So is it fair to say that Kirby Smart had to rebuild? Because it's I feel like what's his name, Mark Rick. I feel like he was a Ryan Day who had these good recruiting classes, but just could never get over the hump and figure it out. But he had these
he would lose big games.
He would lose big games. So is it just like Kirby Smart had to rebuild from the ground up, or was he just a coach who could take the talent that needed to be taken to the next level, and he did that?
Sure, but even if that's the case, which I agree with you, he had more to work with certainly than Dabo had to work with in Clemson.
Yeah, I mean, he's in the state of Georgia.
Than Ryan Day had to work with, because when was the last national championship Georgia won before he won? Right,
long time.
Right, long time. 80s, I believe. Right, was the last one.
Wasn't it with Walker?
Right, yeah,
which is absolutely like insane because the state of Georgia has like insane talent.
And crazy, and they're right. They border Florida, like it. They got a bunch of things going for them. But so I agree with you to some degree. Kirby Smart had to do, or to a lesser degree, he had to do what Dabo had to do. But I do think he had more work to do than Ryan Day.
Yeah. And I agree. And before we got to even blink or think twice about his first championship, he got another one. So at that point, it was like, yeah, I'm here.
Right.
I'm here. I got two already, back to back. And that's not something that happens a lot in college. Back to back, even with Bama.
Yeah.
So I want to ask Battlecry. Garrison left, so I didn't get to ask him. I want to ask both of y'all this. I think this is Ron Day's 7th season, right?
Yes, going into a 7th season.
Okay, so 2019 was his most talented team. Throughout in this class that he had that just left, he had them for 4 years. Out of his, and 2019 was ridiculous talent, so that's 5 years. So this year, I think it's really safe to say this is the first time that he's had to. I know you guys talk about your history and you're not worried because you over history you go 10-2, whatever. But this is the first time that he's hit with, your OC leaves, your DC leaves. You lost hella players. Like, so my thing is like you can go back and say, yeah, I'm gonna rely on history, but this is the first time at the helm that he's faced with all this turnover. So I guess I asked like your concern level, like knowing that.
Here's the thing. If you look at how it began, he had Urban Meyer's recruiting classes, but look who he brought in. I mean, Jeff Hafley was. I mean, I know he wasn't well known, but he was from the NFL. But at the end of the day, that was a home run. That was a home run hire. If you look at the defense before in 2018, that was a terrible defense. I looked at the highlights against Maryland, and they must have put up like 500 yards. They didn't lose.
I feel like they were running like the same play too. That off tackle, whatever.
Battlecry. I'm speaking on just all the turnover at once happening.
Oh, I'm leading my answers leading up to that. But that was a good hire, and then he brought in Jim Knowles, and he's just continually bringing in top 5 classes, and just like you have all the talent in the world, and just like I feel like if the program would have tanked, it would have taken a while. Because I'm gonna go back to a couple coaches I brought up. Larry Coker, he inherited a lot of NFL draft picks, won the national championship his first year. I don't care what anyone says, that's the best college football team ever assembled. And then the next year, they lost to Ohio State in the national championship. But after that, I forgot who said that. Well, he didn't continue to get those good classes. Well, I did the research after that, and he continued to get top 5, top 7 classes, and the program tanked. So it's just like anybody can take over a top-notch program, but the fact that Ryan Day has kept it consistently afloat, to me, is impressive. Because I mean, I can name a couple coaches right now who would have messed it up. I think Lane Kiffin would have messed it up. I think possibly Brian Kelly could have messed it up.
Damn it.
I think
Brian
Josh
Kelly
Heupel would
could've
have
messed
messed
it
it up.
Okay,
I don't know.
out of those
Yeah.
names, out of
Listen,
those hires, right? Out
I
of
don't
those
know
hires
if
that
Brian
you
Kelly
that you
would've
said,
messed it up.
like, how many of them were first-time play callers?
Mhm.
How many of them are coming back to college or going to college from the NFL?
I would wait. You say coming from the going to college, the NFL, or
The first, you can stick with even the first one. Like Brian Hartline is going to be a first-time play caller, just like Kurt Campbell was, just like Wink coming back from the NFL. Like, I'm not saying you guys are gonna go 7-5, but
as long as he is conscious, he
Yeah.
should be better than Kurt Campbell.
Oh yeah, I don't doubt that. He's got way more
We're
talent.
not talking about him.
Way more talent
Let's
too.
not go down that rabbit hole.
All I'm saying is I think it's more of a concern than what people are leading on.
I see what you're saying. I agree.
What I would say is the most concern is with Matt Patricia, and this is why. I get that, he had some success as a coordinator, not as a head coach, because I'm a Lions fan, and let me tell you something. He completely just I don't even like to talk about it, man. I just don't. But yeah, my concern is like he's never coached in college, and it's kind of like, is he going to have to adjust to college football to get the defense to where it needs to be? I noticed that with Michigan in the beginning. Wink Martindale, wasn't his first time in college.
Well,
Come
back
from the
in like
NFL?
20
No.
years.
Yeah,
Okay, back in like 20 years. And, as we've seen other coaches who come back, sometimes the game has moved on from them, and sometimes, you need time to catch up. In Wink Martindale's situation, he just needed time to catch up because he put together a master class at the end. No one can deny that. So I have the same concern with Matt Patricia, but also your thing with Brian Hartline. So I get that back in 2023, he was named offensive coordinator, but he didn't really do much. But we don't know like how much better he's gotten and learned from Chip Kelly. That's yet to be seen. So I'm going to be waiting on that. If he has, great. If he hasn't, then you know what? We may have another Kerry Combs situation where we promote someone within because they're a great recruiter. We don't want to lose them, but at the end of the day, Kerry Combs had no business being the defensive coordinator, and we had to show him the door. That's just what it is. That could something like that could be it could be a downfall. I mean,
hold on, Drew. We got some housekeeping things to do really quick. Shout out to Justin Shorter. He's been waiting on the answer to this. He says, "What's up, fellas? How do y'all feel about the 2-game suspension? I feel like the university is ready to move past it because it's hurting recruiting." Well, I'm ready to move past it, Justin. That's for damn sure.
I'm definitely ready to move
I'm
past
positive the university is ready to move past it. I do feel like it is affecting recruiting. We know it affected Olesh last year, right? And Michigan losing him to Penn State. So that's a fact, without a doubt. Thank you for the $4.99 super chat. GT is back. He says, who would win in the fight to the death between Lou Holtz and Ryan Day, assuming Lou Holtz was asleep?
I still got my money on Lou Holtz. That dude,
That's fucking
spry at his age.
That's nasty, bro.
Shout out to GT.
Still spry at his age.
For the $5 super chat. And then Blue Wolverine. Shout out to my guy Blue Wolverine. He came through with 10 gifted Maize Madman memberships. So 10 of you thank Blue Wolverine. You are now officially mad men or women rather. Shout out to Blue Wolverine for that. But yeah, let's get back to it.
Hey, Maize, put this Wesley Holbert comment up here real quick.
All right, hold on. Let me find him.
See this, and this is what has me really watching to see what's going to go on with them. Because let's rewind it back 2023. The problem with Ryan Day was he would get in his own head with the passing game. Ohio State would struggle in short yardage. You'd see jet sweeps that would still get stopped on third or fourth down. You couldn't get the short yardage, which was a problem. Now you're throwing it when the easiest thing to do is turn around and hand it off. So the fact that they won the championship, they done forgot about all that stuff. Ryan Day wasn't calling the plays though. Chip Kelly was. And if it's Ryan Day's offense, Brian Hartline, is he whose protege is he? Is he Ryan Day's? Is he Chip Kelly's? Or has he merged them? We're gonna find out.
And how much how much trust does he actually have? And if he starts to struggle, does he take the keys from him again?
Exactly. And then
we all know what that has led to. Every single year that he's called plays, he doesn't win a big game. He doesn't win the big game. He can't get it done when he calls play. I mean, it's just over time, bro. When you're a head coach, bro, it's too many responsibilities. That's just not a Ryan Day thing. That's every head coach thing.
Yeah. You got to manage the game when you're the head coach.
That's a fact.
You got to let coordinators coordinate.
I'm interested.
You know, my buddy brought up a good point to me about, you know, when Chip Kelly was the offensive coordinator, and this is what he said. He's like, you know, Rob, if you look at, you know, the relationship that Ryan Day and Chip Kelly had, Chip Kelly was a mentor to Ryan Day, and Chip Kelly is possibly the only person ever in the coaching world who would tell Ryan Day no, and Ryan Day would actually listen. So there's that aspect as well. Do you guys get what I'm saying?
Yeah. He's not there anymore.
Yeah, he's not there anymore. So we'll see if, you know, remember I talked about how, you know, he's trying to figure out as a head coach. We'll see.
Absolutely.
When he doesn't
listen, man.
When he doesn't
as much grief as I give, as much grief as I give Ryan Day, the fact is they did rebound after that horrible loss to Michigan, right? 13-10 in their building.
Yeah.
They went on a run. They won a national championship. He has that monkey off his back, right? People who thought he couldn't do it, especially because he was losing to Michigan, he's able to prove those people wrong. Ryan Day, as you pointed out, has won upwards of 90% of his of his games as a head coach. He has done pretty much everything there is to do except for beat Michigan on a consistent basis, win back-to-back Big Ten championships. But, you know, everybody can't be Jim. I get it. That said, Ryan Day is a very good football coach. We can't deny that. I know a lot of people want to say he beat I'm one of those people, by the way. He beat a horrible Big Ten for years, and he did. But like you pointed out, Rob, you have to win those games anyway, right? How many times has, you know, Urban Meyer lost bad, lost horribly to
Thank
Purdue,
you for
right?
bringing that up, man.
Yeah, so you know, we get it. It can at any given week, you know, it could go bad for you. It can go left. It's looked like Ryan Day was going to lose some bad games before, but he pulled those out. I talked about Nebraska earlier. He won that game. A couple years ago, Northwestern looked like they had you in a blender. He won that game. So, you know, everything there are bright spots about Ryan Day. Does it change my mind on wanting him to be your head coach in perpetuity? Absolutely not. I'm love
glad
Ryan
you brought
Day
that up,
right
man,
where he is.
So I'm like,
because I have some thoughts on that.
All right.
All right.
Go ahead.
So you said that I hope Ryan Day remains the Ohio State head coach. And what was the other thing you said? In perpetuity. And I know that a lot of Michigan fans, they say that you know, Ryan Day forever. But remember back before Jim Harbaugh figured out against Ohio State, there was all these banners up. Jim Harbaugh forever. Ohio State fans were chanting for Jim Harbaugh to remain the Michigan's head coach forever.
Rob, don't try to use
now,
my stuff on me.
Yeah, this is different, Rob.
Don't try to use my
I'm
stuff
just
on
saying,
me, Rob.
man.
Look, here's the
I'm
difference. Here's the
This ain't
difference.
like
As
that.
far as we
This ain't
know,
like that, Rob.
here's the difference. As far as we know, Jim Harbaugh still can't beat Urban Meyer as Ohio State's head coach. So there's that. Urban Meyer got out of there with a clean slate against Jim.
Once he lost that 2016 game, it really hurt.
That hurt me. I'm still hurt about it.
Yeah, that hurts.
But but I get what
here's
you're
the
saying.
thing, man. But here's the thing.
Oh shit.
What? So I know for a fact, because I have a lot of friends who are Michigan fans. I know for a fact that a lot of Michigan fans were panicking when it was Ryan Day's first year, and they still and Jim Harbaugh still lost to Ohio State, and then 2021 came around, finally got over the hump. Now I will say that Sherrod Moore beat Ohio State first year as the full-time head coach, not having a team hand over him, but first-time head coach. Now, is history going to repeat itself where Sherrod Moore is going to get his first L?
I don't like
that's
this,
to
Rob.
remain known.
That's
I don't like
hey, I'm just looking at I'm looking at projections. I'm looking at
Stop
So
looking
Rob, I
at
have like
that, Rob.
Rob, I have like two like real
with
questions for you.
what's going on with both Michigan and Ohio State this year is that we both have very young quarterbacks.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
One's a true freshman. The other one's a redshirt freshman?
A redshirt freshman.
Yeah.
Or be a sophomore.
Yeah, he a redshirt sophomore.
You redshirted? All right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they're both kind of in the same boat in a way,
Oh wait, is he a redshirt sophomore?
So
Did he sit a year at Bama?
Yeah, because he was at Bama.
Oh, you
Yeah,
right.
he sat a year at
Redshirt
Bama.
sophomore, yeah.
Redshirt sophomore.
All right, so we're gonna see how Ryan Day develops as quarterbacks and develops his players this year.
No doubt. Absolutely, Black Hat. One quick thing. The Bull will win says, can Rob say thank you to Michigan? Without us beating you, you wouldn't have snapped and let loose your offense. Rob, what say you?
I can't do it.
That doesn't sound like
I can't do it, man. I'm not.
Come on, Rob.
Bro.
I will say this. I will say this. That loss to Michigan, it was awful, and that's why it made the national championship win so sweet. And I just sat there and took it all in. My co-host and we did a live show. We didn't say in your face Michigan, brag to anybody about that. We were just talking about how great it felt. So I will say that it made the Natty win a lot sweeter, because those were that loss, and then the week or so or whatever leading up to the first playoff game, that was rough, man. Just everything that was said in the media. I was making videos about Ryan Day has to go, and what are the chances Ryan Day gets fired after if he gets the first playoff loss, opening round, and does the percentage goes down as he wins? I mean, those were legitimate conversations that I was having that my co-host and I were having on the show. So it was just this Natty was sweet, because I was just man, what are the chances we rebound from this and make this great run? And then just okay, we beat Tennessee, awesome. Oh my gosh, we just blew out Oregon, awesome. And then that I thought, dude, my wife was so she was so worried that at the end of that Texas game they were gonna get a noise complaint, dude, because I was screaming and yelling when that scoop and score, and then winning the Natty. But I will say, the loss to Michigan, feeling that pain, and then going on to achieve the highest goal in college football, it did make it a lot better. I will say that.
Rob was out here
fighting for my life. Y'all killing me with this.
Shout out to Rob though. Shout out to TB
I would give it a B. That
W2.
month before the playoff game, that was so much fun as a Michigan fan.
I mean,
No
to be
doubt.
honest with you, we both ended on like a good note on the season. So I mean,
Yeah, man.
I agree.
That was
But
for sure.
I got a question though. All right. So, I've heard on like other shows or just on social media, they were, people were calling this season a rebuild year for Michigan, but yet, you just had 3 top 13 picks,
4 top players on
and
defense
a
left.
a high second rounder, and that's like no slouch to have on your roster. I mean, was it more all the other turnover and the staff turnover as well? Because
Tell you
it's just like
exactly what it
you guys
was.
still.
I just don't. I don't know why people are saying like. Wait, are you saying they're saying we're gonna have the same type season?
No, he's talking about what led to the
I was
season
just
we had.
surprised because I'm like, wait a minute, they're calling it a rebuild season, but yet they still have some good talent on the roster that just got drafted. I mean, 3 top 13
You
picks.
talking about the
You
24
had a high
season?
set.
Yeah, he's talking about last
Yeah,
year.
the 24
Oh,
season.
okay.
Yeah, I'm talking about last year.
It's
So
a
you
guy.
had.
Go ahead, Johnny.
All right, my bad. You had Harbaugh leave, whose foot grew up, came out of the womb knowing about football. Then you had a new OC. You got your Kirk Campbell. He didn't know what he was doing, and he's coaching the quarterbacks. That's a 2-for-1 on. I don't know what I'm doing right there. Wink came and changed some things on defense, so it wasn't like Mike McDonald to Jesse Minter where it was seamless. Wink had some things he wanted to change, and he hadn't been in college, so he had to learn. So just those 2 things alone, it really hurt us. Plus, not having a quarterback.
Did you mention Kirk Campbell?
Yeah, Kirk Campbell.
And I'm dead. I want his family dead. I want his house burnt to the ground. I want to go to the middle of the night. I want to piss on his head.
That's him.
Yeah.
And Wink's changing it again this year too
against the University of Michigan. But yeah, we want. By the way, when I mean no harm to any of these people that I play that for. By the way, but certainly he will pay for his war crimes.
You guys heard that, right, Maize? Like he's tweaking the defense again this year.
Wink Martindale.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Look, I don't think you can stay.
Yeah.
Static.
Play to our strength. He said he's going to play. The linebackers and edge are going to be the focus of the defense.
Because do you think that you think teams like the other state are watching the tape from last year and saying, "Yo, we're going to do the same thing we tried last year"?
No, I agree.
Absolutely. Everybody's trying to progress and move forward and be better and find a way to beat this amoeba defense in college football, which has dominated really for the last 4 years at least, right?
Yeah, and he's playing to his strengths because I do think the linebackers and edges are the strengths of this defense.
NASCAR McCoy is on the Buckeye Boys tonight. NASCAR McCoy. Who is that, Rob?
Honda McCoy?
Wait, y'all got the Honda McCoy on your show? Nah. That's McCoy. I don't know who that is.
I'm
he's a safety out of Buford.
I don't really.
Okay, here you go. Here's directly to it. Hey, bro, don't be running commercials in our chat.
Shout out Buford, man. We should have justice.
Man, I
put a Buckeye Boys billboard up.
I'm pretty sure Justice went to Buford, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh boy. Hey, we charging for ad space next time, bro.
Hey Rob, I got 2 questions for you. It's a 2-part question.
All right.
Yeah. First and foremost, like our boy Garrison, and you know how he feels. He said Matt Patricia is one of the greatest defensive coordinators ever. So I want to get your thoughts on that part. And the second part of the question is last year, an underrated thing for us when we had, a lot of turnover was the leadership of the offense and defensive side. And we thought we were going to be fine because we had top talent, but there was necessarily that vocal leader on either side of the ball. I mean, I'm looking at your defense, and I could maybe say Caleb Downs or Sonny Styles in that aspect, but I'm looking at your offense, and I'm not seeing any of that vocal leadership. I'm gonna guess you gotta have to find it. I don't know if Jeremiah is gonna be that. He's a wide receiver. You want your quarterback to be that, and Sands feels like a quiet guy. So I guess that was a huge and underrated thing that happened last year. We had to find that throughout the year. So I guess that's my question as well.
Yeah. So in terms of Matt Patricia, my man, again, my concerns is, I don't think has he ever been in college football?
I don't think so.
No. So my concerns, he's never been in college football. College football is completely different than the NFL. Just like he's gonna it's just a big transition. Again, I'm gonna go back to some coaches who left the game for a while, came back. I mean, Mac Brown, he left, came back. The game left him behind. Chip Kelly left, tried to come back as a coach. It left him behind. And there's probably a couple others, but that's my concern. Only time will tell. But I will say that he is a Super Bowl winning defensive coordinator. I know people are like, well, but Bill Belichick, but you gotta give him some you gotta give him some credit though. I mean, that's really impressive. No. So I
there is an issue with Belichick's coordinators though.
It is.
I mean, that's Belichick's defense. I mean, let's just call it. He's calling the plays, but it's Belichick's defense.
Right. Romeo Crennel failed. Charlie Weiss failed. Matt Patricia failed.
Josh
McDaniels. Don't bring as a Raider fan. Josh McDaniel failed. He doesn't have a great track record. I think my guy, obviously, that coached Penn State for a minute.
Here's the other thing about Matt Patricia.
He had some success.
When he went back to New England, remember, he was an offensive coordinator when he went back. He wasn't a defensive coordinator. So don't you find that a little worrying that that Bill Belichick just plugged him into the offense, even though he's more of a defensive guy?
No,
he said, "Go stand over there, bro."
It still worked out, man. He's still a Super Bowl winning defensive coordinator. I mean, look, to me, if you can pull a coach from the NFL to come to college with that much experience, I feel like that's a good hire just as it is. But we're talking about someone who had real success in the pros. That's all I'm gonna say with that. But will he be able to transition to college football? That is to be seen. And you know what? You know what, man?
Fair point.
I'm gonna say something about this comment. It says,
please, GT.
It says,
let me read this first. Shout out to GT. My sources are telling me that Jack Sawyer is calling the Steelers yellow pants gold. Can anyone confirm this?
As a Bengals fan, I'm glad they picked him up. As a Bengals fan.
One of the things that our coaches had trouble with was the substitutions when dealing with the team not substituting and keeping your players on the field as far as defensively. Because in the NFL they don't have that problem.
I'm real interested to see what Larry Johnson's going to do this year, especially with the depth concerns they have on that defensive line.
Yeah. So if you go no huddle, keep those dudes on the field.
I am very interested to see that, bro.
Like Mike McDonald struggled with that a lot that first 2021.
Yeah,
100 out of 100 Lions fans approve of the Matt Patricia hire. GT. What do you think, Rob?
Not everybody's meant to be a head coach at the college level or at the pro level, but
that's true.
Absolutely could kill it being a coordinator. That's all I got to say about
Of course.
that.
No doubt.
It's not, sometimes it's just not meant to be. I mean, look at Jeff Halfley, you know, was at Ohio State for a year, turned around the defense, tried to be the Boston College head coach, and then, you know, right now he's the Green Bay Packers defense coordinator. He's meant to be a really good coordinator.
Yep.
Rob, what are you hearing about this quarterback battle, bro? Because I'm hearing a lot of that Lincoln's still chipping away, but I don't think it's a battle though. I think saying is the quarterback. But how you feeling?
You know, I was actually at the spring game, and I that's the moment I saw that Julian Sain pulled away. And this is what I'm gonna say about Lincoln Keenholz. All right. So back in 2022, 2023, you know, when you had Keenholz and then you had Braun brought in, I always thought they were brought in just to fill the room. I never thought they were going to be legitimate starters. So, you know, I think, Keenholz is just there to push Sain. But at the end of the day, I think Keenholz is going to transfer out. And, I did say this as well. For some players, Ohio State is a reality. And for some, it's just a dream. Hats off to Keenholz for sticking it out. Great athlete. But I just don't think being the Ohio State starting quarterback is going to be reality for him. I think it's always been saying. So,
well, who's the leader of that offense in your eyes?
The leader of that offense, I think Jeremiah Smith is going to be the leader of the offense. I think he's going to be the vocal one.
Yeah. He's not very vocal.
I mean,
he's more of a do it.
Yeah, that's why I'm like, who is going to be the voice? That's what we struggle with. Our best player on offense.
And to me, a receiver can't really be the.
It's got to be an offensive lineman on the quarterback.
He's so reliant on the quarterback. No offense, I'm just
I think it's got to be offensive lineman or quarterback to be the vocal point. Or running back can be that too. But.
Yeah, they're so reliant on the quarterback and the offensive line. That's why you see the receivers throwing temper tantrums because they can't get the ball.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
But yeah, I what I saw is that Julian Sain pulled ahead. His delivery, his just everything, his tangibles are just a lot better than Lincoln Keenholz. So I think that at the end of the day, it's going to be his job. So
yeah, I think it's Julian Sain's job. Yeah. But he coming into the situation like your boy Kyle McCord. I hope we're gonna find out what he made out of, because if he struggles in that offense or it's not looking like y'all want, he ain't gonna have to worry about Michigan fans giving it to him. Y'all gonna eat him alive.
Yeah. I just asked because even if you were at the spring game, you could see Bryce has command. These players, they look up. They already are looking at him like the leader. If you were there, he's already a vocal leader. I think he's gonna be the vocal leader for us.
It looks like Ohio State has dropped out of the race for Cantwell. It's like a 3-team race now.
It's Miami, bro.
He wants the bag, dude. That's
it's not close.
That's all that is. He wants the bag.
They clowned us for dropping out because we ain't give him a fucking number.
Right. And now look at you.
I'm not saying you, right?
As soon as I saw his top three, I was like, this dude wants to get paid.
Oh yeah,
that's fine. Go do your thing. It's a new landscape.
Dallas fan says Ibuka was the vocal player last year. Is that the truth?
Wait, who said that?
That's Dallas.
I thought Will Howard was.
I did too.
Yeah,
he wears his emotion like Jack Sawyer for the defense, and
I remember seeing Will Howard on the sideline.
I think that's a fact.
Y'all probably should have kept Will Howard on the sideline against Michigan. That probably would have helped you.
In terms of vocally and leadership, I think Howard and Sawyer were big contributors in that playoff run, hands down.
Facts.
Yeah. No doubt. Oh, yeah, definitely Sawyer. I forgot about Sawyer. He definitely was.
Yeah, his little potty mouth.
Yeah. They're not planting the flag on their field again, bro. No,
Bro, what is that bullshit
respectfully.
ass taunting tactic they do to the players that run on the field, bro? Like,
Yeah. Come on, man.
that's so weird.
That's another thing I don't like. Where Tyler? Tyler disappeared after we called him out, didn't he?
You know,
Come back,
I'm.
Tyler.
Could I just say something real quick?
Yeah, go ahead, Rob.
I was going to address this comment.
Oh yeah.
I think it was Mello who said, "Please come in here, know your facts, dude." I'm not perfect, man. Like, this is my first time coming on here discussing college football.
Come on, Mello.
You know, I mean, this is my coach and I's, like, we've been doing this for a year and a half. So it's just like, we're not perfect. We're still living and learning. So in terms of the transfer portal, like, that's just my personal opinion. I think that eventually Keen Holtz is going to transfer out whenever that portal may open again. He's not going to start Ohio State. Why would he stick around?
Yeah, that's how I feel about Jaden Davis. He's gonna.
I don't think Jaden Davis is leaving. I think Jaden Davis.
Yeah, we need him.
Enjoys.
No, we need him, but does he need, like, you know what I'm saying? I don't think he's gonna.
Mike Anderson wants to know who's better right now, Julian Sand or Bryce Underwood. Talk to us in the chat. We'll discuss it right here.
Shit,
thank you for the $2 super chat. Bryce or Julian Sand right now. Rob, you are the guest.
How do you even gauge that?
We're gonna start with you. Who is the best today?
How can you even tell? I don't even know.
We're just guessing, I guess.
Man, just guessing, man. Just guessing. From what I saw, Bryce Underwood at the spring game is that, obviously, he's all new to college football, but I would say that he really needs to work on his long ball. Is not very.
Chicks dig the long ball.
I mean, he was overshooting them by quite a bit. But, in terms of like tangibles, delivery, and just getting it out real quick, I'm gonna have to give it to Sand.
Okay, I'm not mad at it. Johnny.
I mean, we really don't know. If I had to pick today, I would probably say Sand, since he's been in college for a year and he has that under his belt. The
3 years.
I mean, it's 2
years, right?
This is the third year.
Somebody in the chat was saying he's a true sophomore.
No, this is second year.
Yeah, so
he redshirted. He came in with Bama.
No,
he didn't.
He transferred out.
He was
okay. This is second year. Okay.
He was originally a part of the Bama class, but he
Right.
transferred out of that class to Ohio State.
Right, in the same recruiting class.
Exactly. He came in with Rayola. Yeah.
So he's a redshirt sophomore, or a redshirt friend.
No, he's a true sophomore.
Or a true sophomore, right?
He didn't redshirt at all.
He didn't redshirt. I thought he
didn't redshirt.
Okay.
I don't know, but
Right.
he's been in college,
Either
so
way,
he's got
he
the
had 2 years at least, bro.
He's got the tutelage of being in college, the weight training, the whole deal, learning the scheme. So at this point, I'm going to give it to him, not off anything tangible, but just by the fact that I know he's been in a college system for a year or two.
No doubt. Michigan Man Jay says, "What's up, Johnny?
What up? What up?
What up, though? All right, Juju, who's the best, Sand or Bryce Underwood?"
I kind of agree with Johnny. He's just been in college longer. I mean, he's a talented quarterback. I mean, do I think mechanically he's better? No, I don't. And I know Rob made a comment about his long ball, but I actually didn't mind it at all. I didn't mind it because he put it in a place. If his receiver don't get it, no one does. And every one of his misses to me were fine outside of like 3. And he made a bad decision, probably 4. He made one really bad decision, but we got
wide open deep ball. He missed bad.
This kid is 17 years old. Like he's had 15 practices. He's 17 years old. And again remind everyone, we draft our spring game.
Right.
So he's not throwing to his starters like Julian's saying is.
That's true.
And they have deeper talent in that aspect. But what I did see at the spring game, he had command of the offense. He had a couple of delay games, but he was making checks at the line of scrimmage with a base offense. So And do I think like long term? I think long term is gonna be Bryce. But right now, anyone would say you can't get you're not gonna give saying the nod. It's like, bro, he's been in college longer.
No doubt.
This is Bryce's first year.
Black Hat.
How many times you don't watch that spring game now, Juju?
I know, right?
Bro, I'm like, bro, I'm probably near 20 now, bro.
You need to stop.
I ain't even mad.
I need to sign a contract somewhere, bro. Someone get me on the show.
Yo, Black Hat, who's better right now?
Yeah, I'll have to say Sand just because off of experience.
Yeah, I think it's a clean sweep. I'm gonna go with Sand too for the same reasons. People underestimate that year of college experience. Even if you don't play, you're around the game, you're in the practices, right? You're around other college players. And by the way, he had an extended college run his first year because they made the playoff and had that run. He got more practices. So I think the sane answer is saying. So to answer that question,
since we're talking about Bryce Underwood, I made this bold claim on my co-host and I's show, and it's not going to be Bryce Underwood's fault, man. I'm not saying that Michigan's not going to win a natty with him. I don't think he's going to get a Heisman, and here's why. It doesn't seem like Michigan is getting the talent around him to be able to put up those numbers and help put talent around him to help him get a Heisman. Because if you look at Joe Burrow, Joe Burrow, for example, I mean, he had
the greatest season ever now.
I know, but look,
receivers ever, bro.
But I mean, if you look at the past Heisman quarterbacks, they've had someone who has been a high NFL caliber wide receiver, one or two. I mean, pretty much almost every single. Even Bryce Young, he had Jamo and some others to throw to. Even like the Heisman runner-up. I mean, you had Trevor Lawrence. Look at the receivers he had to throw to. What I'm saying is, like, who's gonna be that those dominant receivers?
I mean, I think we all can agree that this year is a stepping stone. Like, this year is a stepping stone on top of last year. I just don't think you can judge. That's why I'm not terribly mad at them not grabbing another receiver. They got guys in that room, and we're not gonna act like they weren't open last year. They were open. They were open. So I guess right now it's easy to say, hey, he ain't got no one to throw to, because of what we seen last year in the offense. But wait a year in this Chip Lindsey offense. This is a very important year for recruiting. He's the most important thing to turn this around. And he's going to let him throw the ball. And we have the schedule to do it. So we're going to find out.
Shut up.
Yeah. But if we can get a natty over that Heisman, I'll take it every time.
Yeah, I don't give a shit about the Heisman.
The reason why I'm saying that is because when Underwood did that interview with he said a couple Heismans. Like, dude, like Michigan, like they're not putting the receivers around you to get the Heisman.
I mean, he's a confident kid. I mean, what are you supposed to say?
That said, though, there was a guy who won a Heisman. It's been a few years now.
Talk about Lamar Jackson.
No, but he also did. But he had some talent. He had some talented guys. Some good players.
Oh yeah, I think people underestimate, bro. Bryce was like a 4 or 5 at his size, bro.
Won that thing with nobody.
He was a monster,
right? He willed that Auburn team basically to the natty and to him winning the Heisman that year. So
yeah, I think we're all kind of predicting this offense this coming year, the run game is going to be probably very good, and the pass game is probably going to be decent.
Right. Let me get this out. Mike Layton, shout out to Mike. Thank you for the $4.99 super chat. He says Rob is acceptable as an other state fan. Glad you joined the show. Go Blue. So you're getting some praise in the Rob.
He'll stand in the paint. I ain't gonna lie. He handled himself real well on Sundays.
Yeah.
It
gets rough on Sundays, man. Sunday on Johnny's show, by the way. Anybody in the chat who hasn't tuned in at Sunday, roughly 2 p.m. on Sunday, You can get in the Royal Rumble matches if you feel you better come correct. Pause. But the invitation is open. All right.
But he doesn't take shit personal from what I see. Like you had other people, I'm not gonna name any names, but that get emotional. Yeah, once they're called out on a football opinion or a football fact. Yeah, Johnny know what we're talking about.
Look at you emotional.
But all that shit at work. That shit's funny as hell.
Yeah.
But all I'm saying is, like, if you look back at history a bit, and you have all these Heisman quarterbacks, they have had like first round NFL wide receiver caliber to throw to. That's just all I'm saying, man. I'm not saying that Bryce Underwood isn't talented.
Well, look, McCulley could be that. I think he has the potential to be a dynamic college wide receiver. He could be that this year. We'll see, though. We all went to that glorified practice, and we saw what we saw. There definitely needs to be more done, absolutely. But we'll see what happens. Shout out to Asian Posh Doreen. She says, hello, M3 and Wolverine fans. Glad to support you. I'm glad that you are here, Doreen, and we are glad to have you as a patron of these channels.
And it seems like a lot of people aren't giving or they're not acknowledging that Kirk Campbell is gone and Chip Lindsey is the new offensive coordinator also.
Right.
I just don't think they care, bro. Right. Like anyone who watched the games last year in depth know, obviously you can say excuse and we lost the games. Like that's our fault that we had the quarterback situation like that and the offensive coordinator situation like that. That's our fault. But in the reality is, bro, our defense, bro, we were a quarterback away from losing 2 games that year. Bro. And we returned a lot of those defensive players.
Now you guys know how Iowa felt all those years. They had a really good defense.
Make sure I ain't going to jail.
But they just couldn't gel on offense, man.
No, look, and a lot of those people that performed the back half of the year, they're starting and on the 2 deep this year. So, and we upgraded everywhere. That's why you cannot get any worse than we were offense last year. You can't. We were 130th, bro. The only way is up.
Hey, by the way, Dallas fan, don't think I didn't see you said something earlier about CJ Carr being better than both Bryce and Julian Sand. Stop it, bro. All right.
Bro, he's like the little cousin that he's like the little cousin that want to butt in on the big brother shit. You know what I'm saying?
This is elite football talk up here, all right? You guys, you made it to the dance last year. Do it again.
How about you guys how about you guys join a conference, bro?
I think in Michael's head, he thinks they won the championship.
He acts like it. That's for damn sure.
Like every other night, celebrating every like champs. He want to tell you champs. Y'all lost. Bro.
I will say that I did mock Freeman. Because just from his interviews at the beginning, it sounded like he was going to do it a lot better than Brian Kelly. I'm just like, dude, you don't understand the academic restrictions that get in the way of getting those top end elite players at Notre Dame, and the fact that Brian Kelly was able to get it to a level. Yes, I'm giving Brian Kelly some credit. The fact that Brian Kelly was able to get it to a level that Notre Dame was at is impressive. Just for he didn't have those top recruiting classes.
I tell Dallas fan this all the time. Yeah, Brian Kelly did a good job as the head coach at Notre Dame.
Bro, Freeman is not Brian Kelly, bro.
I think Freeman's recruiting above the level, right? He's definitely doing a good job recruiting. He's got that team to a natty.
Right.
They beat teams in the playoff game that, I didn't think they were going to beat Penn State. They probably shouldn't have beat Penn State, but, James Franklin. More
worried about arguing with fans than his natty season. But...
Yo, that call to go, instead of just getting go to overtime, bro. Go to overtime. Man,
that's another one of those situationals, man.
To throw that football. He should have been fired for that. That's malfeasance.
Bro, Maize, did you see the clip of him in the spring game this year?
I did, man.
Arguing with bro, what are you doing, bro?
He did the same thing after the Ohio State game.
Yeah,
the same thing, man.
Because the fans there are tired of it, bro. Listen, how many times are you going to be the bridesmaid to Ohio State?
The bridesmaid, never the bride.
Damn that to us too. He can't beat us either.
Well, you know, we not on the schedule annually like Ohio State is. But you're right. Annually, you get stuffed in the locker by the other state. You gotta at some point you gotta win the game.
Any top 10 team that walks through, he's getting bitched, bro.
Yeah, it's disgusting.
Hey, bro, go to this last Michael comment real quick.
Johnny, you act like him getting there isn't an achievement. Jim Hamburger Harbaugh needed 7 years. Stop being blinded by Brian Kelly. Era work. It's not here no more.
Brian Kelly got there too.
Right.
So what?
Right.
Wait, what are we talking about?
And got to the playoff back-to-back years.
Getting there doesn't mean much because you don't know when you're gonna get back. It's not guaranteed.
Right.
So when you get there, you best win it.
So far, Marcus Freeman has done nothing better than Brian Kelly has done at Notre Dame. Except maybe recruit.
I would ask how many
outside of that, he hasn't done a thing that Brian Kelly had. Brian Kelly, he hasn't touched any air that Brian Kelly didn't at Notre Dame.
I just don't know why. Like they always.
There are things Brian Kelly did though that Marcus Freeman has yet to do.
But like, why is Notre Dame at us? Like, bro, y'all ran from us.
We destroyed them in
the y'all did run from us.
What are we doing? 2035. See you there. I don't know. Maybe the playoff.
And I will say that, you know, so my wife is a Penn State fan. When they blew it against Notre Dame, and you know, Aller made that. I don't even know what he was doing at the end. You know, he pissed down the leg or something. But I was like, I'm like, Sarah, I'm so sorry. And she's like, just the life of being a fan of Pennsylvania sports. Because she's a
damn. She said the whole word too.
Hey,
because the same thing, the same things happens with the Steelers. She's like, Rob, I've seen the Steelers. So she's like, Rob, I've seen this every year. You know, head coach will get them to the playoffs and get out the first round, all as well. And they're just like, we're tired of it.
Yeah, no, I get it. Shout out to John Diadamo, voice of college football fame. He says Texas pulling and Ohio State and loading up. I'd be shocked if they don't win it. All thoughts, ladies and gentlemen.
Here's the thing. I don't understand. It seems like there's a misconception about the quote unquote $20 million roster with Ohio State.
Mm-hmm.
That's not what happened. As you could see, you know, Ryan Day used all that money to retain the players that he had. Yes, they had to spend money on go out and get, you know, Caleb Downs, Junkins, and Howard, but a good amount of that money, a really good amount of that money was to keep the current team intact. And of course, you know, you had to give Jeremiah Smith his money, but you know, that's just I don't know. I don't like that being put out there that, oh, Ohio State went out and, you know, got all these players, spent all that $20 million on, you know, the players they went out and got. That's just not true. And if we're going to talk about that, let's look at Oregon. They spent a lot more money.
Well, the facts are,
Texas's
you're right.
roster this year is going to be like $35 million.
You're right. That it came out that Ohio State they didn't have the most expensive roster in college football last year. That's a fact.
But the media and everybody ran.
Absolutely. However, it was $20 million. The roster was
like
$20 million.
Brother.
This is the thing, Rob, and I'm gonna throw you a bone because you real cool. Don't try to run from it. Embrace it. We spent $20 million and we won the championship. Maybe you should have spent $20.
Right. Hide the money. There's poor people around.
We won the championship. Yeah, we spent 20.
Right.
Well,
Texas literally is spending 30 to 35 mil this offseason, bro. Like embrace
that.
But here's the thing that I didn't like. I didn't like that Ohio State was being called mercenary you, that the players only come for the money, they have a broken culture. That's where I want to step
I'm not
in
gonna disagree with
and
that.
fight back.
I don't even care about that either.
Ohio
Listen,
State does not have a broken
if
culture. This is where
Michigan
I'm
got
going
to
to
the point
back.
where they were
I'm gonna
like,
let them
"Hey,
talk
it's
about
mercenary
that.
you," and they only come for the bag, I wouldn't care a bit.
Yeah, don't.
Right? Because at the end of the day, go ahead.
No, I think what Rob is pointing.
Oh man,
He must be on that Ohio network.
Yeah, he was about to say some bullshit.
Log up, come back on, man.
Hey, fix that 3G connection you got there. I don't know what's going
But
on.
all I'm saying, man, it's just like
McDonald's shit, boy.
there's this broken culture under Ryan Day. All they want to do is come for the money, and just like I don't know. I just that's just like a big misconception, because as you saw in the playoffs, they want to play for Ryan Day. They bought into the brotherhood. They brought in the culture. So it's just like that's just this false perception that I feel like a good amount of Michigan fans are putting out there. And yes, I do.
No. Hold on, Rob.
I do.
Y'all always blame us for everything.
Come on, bro.
Bro.
Everyone was saying that was a national thing.
Yeah, I will say neutral media has been covering it like that too.
I would watch
national
CBS
broadcasted
Sports,
thing.
CBS College Football Breakdown, and they would talk about it every time.
Yeah,
ESPN every time y'all played.
That they have a broken culture.
No, the
$20
$20 million. I didn't hear the broken culture part.
Yeah.
I haven't heard that.
That's the extra spice y'all putting on there. Y'all putting the broken culture thing on there.
That's not true. That's not true.
No, that's.
I didn't hear that.
I can pull up receipts on X of plenty of Michigan fans who said, "What's wrong with Ohio State's culture? Broken culture. We broke."
But why were they saying that though?
Go on Emgo blog.
Wait, Garrison.
Yes.
So I just want to give back a little bit to what the majority of Ohio State fans said to us about the Cantwell thing. Are you guys broke?
Wait, what?
Are you guys broke?
No, I'm just smart and I pay attention to recruiting. And Cantwell said he doesn't want to be in a large city.
No, like
you don't want to be in a large city.
Though.
No,
they got that Starman sponsorship.
I'm confused because you're bringing Cantwell as you're bringing Cantwell as the example, but I can sit here and tell you because Cantwell said from his own mouth he didn't want to be in a large city. Athens and Eugene aren't large. Columbus is a big city. Yes, like
what about freaking Miami, bro?
Miami?
No, bro, all right. Wait, so, guys, again, if you know what's going on with the Cantwell recruitment,
bro, I'm following, bro.
Stop. Everyone knows it was Oregon and Georgia from the get-go. Just because Miami's in there doesn't mean they're gonna get him. Miami's pushing money. We all know that.
Okay, then why is Ohio State not in it anymore?
Bro,
right,
bro. Hold on, wait, Juju. Listen.
Even if he doesn't go, but you're just contradicting it.
Juju, listen.
You go.
The kid doesn't want to be in a large city. On top of that, Juju. On top of that, your parents are Olympians. Oregon is the number one track school in America. Mind you, Oregon also, since Mario was there, has a history of putting out first round offensive linemen.
Okay.
Like, dude, it's not, and Georgia does. It's not about
money.
All
of that.
Yeah, nobody's disagreeing with
which
you,
has been reported. It's all been reported.
Right.
I already know this. Like, all of that is great.
So why are you asking?
You talking
about
the
Miami?
Cities. You talk about the cities as if Miami isn't still in it.
Yes, bro. Miami's not. Wait, guys.
It doesn't matter if he doesn't go.
Wait. Let me tell you about a recruit that you're not in for, because you weren't in the top school. Miami was putting out a lot of money out there for him. People who know Cantwell's recruitment know it is Georgia and Oregon. This is like this. That's why I don't like. You keep talking about Miami. I'm telling you, Miami is not going to Miami.
Garrison, bro, you're missing the troll, bro, because they trolled us too.
All right, man, it's all good.
I get what you're saying, dude. No, Juju, I get what you're saying because you're talking about the whole broke thing and how Ohio State fans called you guys broke, right?
Right.
Juju, I'm gonna tell you the same thing I tell everyone else. When we have these conversations, I don't want to do hey babe, I knew I cheated on you, but look what the guys do to their wives. That's not the conversation to be had. So
all right. Okay. Listen, let's get to Tim. Tim's had this question for a while here. Does Ohio State win it all without the portal?
No.
Nah.
No.
Michigan doesn't win it all without the portal, though.
Exactly. We
We
don't even win it without
Just
the portal.
accept it.
Yeah.
Well, you said Michigan doesn't win without the portal?
Right. In
No.
23, we don't win without the portal.
Right.
You think that?
Josh
Bro, we don't have
Wallace,
a tackle if we
Henderson.
don't have the
Do we need to go down the line?
Wait. So who came out of the portal on that team?
Josh Wallace, Henderson,
Bro, Hausman,
Hausman also.
offensive line,
linebacker, bro.
Yeah.
Henderson,
Come on,
Hen,
We
Josh
had-
Wallace with the big
Josh
play
Wallace,
in
the biggest, probably the biggest. Yeah.
in the Bama game.
We don't.
Josh
we don't-
Wallace started.
I guess. Maybe
There is no Garrison. There's no I guess, bro. We don't have an offensive line.
Maybe I give more credit to the talent you guys already had there than you guys do.
No, I just give credit to the players.
So what about the talent you already have? What about the talent you already have?
No, Maize. I'm talking about like I think you guys could have won that championship without Josh Wallace.
Okay.
I think you could have won that championship without Miles Hand. I think you could have won that championship without
Nugent?
Henderson.
We do not win without Nugent, bro.
No,
we don't win without Nugent, bro.
Juju, I know, Juju. I'm not saying I'm right. I'm okay with you saying that. I think you guys could.
No doubt.
But there's a reason why we went to the
Somebody
portal.
else needs some attention. He says Brian Kelly took Charlie Weiss players to the national championship to get embarrassed, blown out. Getting blown out didn't change. Freeman has 0 blown out games at Ohio State. Bro, tell me in the record books. No, wait.
Like,
tell me in the
Marshall
record
in
books,
Northern
bro,
Illinois.
where they have the blown out section. Next, it's wins, losses, and then over here somewhere, I guess if you're a Notre Dame fan, there's a section for blown out.
Marcus
Bro,
Freeman
I
lost to
was
Northern
getting
Illinois
embarrassed in
Marshall,
that
bro. I don't
national
care.
championship for a while. It was getting real
37
embarrassing.
years since
But I
their
rem-
last
I rem-
natty.
And lost to Northern Illinois.
I remember.
and Marshall,
I
bro. Like,
remember
I do
why.
not care about Freeman.
I remember why they were talking about y'all culture though. It just dawned on me because y'all had them receivers doing that before the game.
It was before that. Wait. By the way, can we talk about Bryce?
So I
hold up, M3. Can we talk about Bryce Underwood shaking his little tail feather? Can we talk about Will Johnson shaking his little ass? Can we talk about them doing that?
National champion.
I don't think we should be talking about.
Bro, first of all, don't
National
come on to the
Juju,
don't come on to BlueTube Live.
already.
Juju, Bryce Underwood the national champion?
It
No,
wasn't.
he's
It wasn't
That's out
like
for
y'all's.
jury.
Though.
Will Johnson's the
It
national
wasn't
champion.
like y'all's. It was y'all's. Was
This is
pretty-
BlueTube Live.
I'm really pissed off.
Don't come on here talking about us.
Wait, you know what's
We are
funny?
here to talk about you.
That's fair.
He's
Wait,
soon
you
to
know
be a
what's funny about that,
national
guys? You know what's funny about that whole
championship,
dancing thing that you guys don't know? That was going on during Urban's years.
I know.
No, wait.
I was losing. Once you started losing, it made it funny.
Here comes your politician. Everyone likes their politician Garrison. Here he comes. You can't get upset when we're kicking your arse about dancing and you don't talk about it then just because you lose and we continue doing the same thing doesn't mean the culture.
Man. Garrison, I'm glad that you brought Urban up because he had some comments earlier that just ain't sitting right.
Gross. Yeah, I don't like it either. Let's talk about it.
Let's really, Garrison. I know this man.
I haven't heard them yet, so let me hear it.
He said that when you lie to the NCAA, you basically make your deathbed.
Yes.
So I would love. Oh my goodness.
I mean, look what happened to Tressel.
I'm telling you.
Trevor McCune absolutely cooked Urban Meyer on Twitter, bro.
No, bro. Like, what about what?
Because Urban Meyer was literally caught in a lie.
About what? About what?
The whole Zach Smith situation.
That's
The text message.
All right. So Juju, I believe you to be a very smart person. Let me help you out though. That had nothing to do with the NCAA.
He lied. It doesn't matter.
No, Juju, stop. He said when you lied to the NCAA, they didn't talk about if you lied to the authorities. Mind you, see, and this is why
that's even worse. What the fuck?
Wait a minute, bro.
Juju, stop, because you don't know what you're talking about right now. I think because you saying someone cooked him for lying. Mind you, what I want for you to do, Juju, and Rob knows this, you need to go actually do some reading, go look at the reports, go find out that her mom, Her dad, her siblings all said she was lying. There was no physical evidence because her ass went to the bar and got in a fight. So maybe, mind you, she was mad at him because he broke what would you call it? When you have to be away from them, but it wasn't because he was trying to be hurting or anything to her. So he was cheating on her. That's why she got mad. So before we put out information, I truly believe we should know what we're talking about.
Okay, I love that you said that because
So wait a minute.
Where did Sharon lie?
NCAA. Even to the NCAA. So let me.
Okay, right. Where Trevor McHugh absolutely like he cooked him.
Trevor McHugh. You were.
And then I want to hold on. I'm not done. Hold on.
Trevor.
Where in what area did Sharon lie?
Wait, are you talking about Trevor? Are you talking about Trevor?
No. Wait.
Are you talking about Trevor McHugh, the guy who did a report on Adam Hughes? Are you talking about that guy? Is that the one you're talking about?
Wait, answer my question.
Wait, no. I'm going to answer your question, but is that
Trevor McHugh from Rivals, bro? From Rivals.
So the guy who didn't report on that nasty. Man.
Anyway, okay. I'm asking you, where did Sharon lie?
Hey, somebody wants you to see this, Garrison.
All right. I'll bring it back down to 10 here. I'm done going crazy. So I'm done going crazy. You may be down. So right. I think that all right. What they because you may not know this, Juju. What they consider lying, Juju, is when you don't comply, when you're complicitly not like trying to be part of it. They are going to tack on the lie. That's just what it is. And so because honestly, that's what it looks like, man. And so then the perception is reality. So then, like, when the reason Urban is saying that is because if you look through history, when coaches lie, and the perfect example is who, Rob? Jim Tressel. And when you sit there and lie, you see what happens. And I laugh at it because, like, I remember my dad used to tell me and my sisters this when we were little kids. My dad said, if you lie, you won't get in trouble. Everyone knows you don't lie. Because, like, Juju, you got kids, don't you?
Yeah, I have a son.
Yeah, you have a son. Don't you tell your son, don't lie? Like, it's gonna be much better for you if you don't lie. That's true. That's true no matter where you go in life. Whether you go to court, anything you do.
You're right about the perception thing. So, which is why I can apply it to this. I can apply it to the same thing.
Like, not that you technically lied.
It looks like Urban Meyer lied.
But again, he didn't lie to the NCAA. What are you talking about? We're talking about lying.
Speaking in general.
No.
Like he's a saint. No. Like we're saying, don't lie.
Urban's not, bro. Hold up.
The Zach Smith thing had nothing to do with the NCAA.
I'm
not saying that. I'm not saying that.
Just because I'm not a saint doesn't mean I can't tell it like it is.
I'm just saying of all people, it's rich coming from him.
Who gives a damn if it's true?
Yeah, bro. Where did that's why I say where did Sharon lie?
It's not again. Did he say
specifically speaking about Sharon, not Jim?
No, I'm asking you because this will help me. Did he say specifically Sharon Moore lied?
No, but that's what the count. I'm telling you, as an OSU fan.
Okay, so again, I said this earlier. Like I'm gonna say it again. When you do not help the NCAA and you sit there and you're
I understand what you're
ignoring them, they are taking it for lying. It's
I understand what you're saying.
Yeah, so
just like the media and everyone take it for him as lying.
What?
Just everyone.
No, I actually hear you.
Like what he was reported, just like Urban Meyer, they take it for lying. Look, I'm not saying that it was about the NCAA. I'm just saying it was how he got cooked. It was real rich coming from someone who literally were lying, and even a worse light to me.
Can I ask you a question? If an alcoholic came to you and said you shouldn't drink too much, are you going to sit there and laugh in their face? Or are you just going to take it for face value? They're telling the truth.
Oh, so you're saying if a liar says you shouldn't lie, then you should listen?
No way.
That's a
listen.
I mean, to be fair, if an alcoholic comes up and says you shouldn't drink, I would honestly.
I ain't gonna lie.
Stupid. No. Use your common sense.
If an alcoholic says don't drink too much, I feel like they have personal.
I see it, bro.
I feel like if an alcoholic says don't drink, I feel like they are a pretty reliable source of what not to do.
There's what Garrison's saying is if a liar tells you not to lie.
Man is Garrison's on something with that.
Congratulations. You played yourself.
Garrison's on something with that
Bro,
mindset. That makes no sense.
Listen, I'll give you an example. So when I was in the Navy, I'll give you an example. So when I was in the Navy, right?
Yo, I'm crying, bro.
They would go out there and give you, like, before we go out to port, they brief you on what you can do and what you can't do and when you can't go. Plenty of people like me have gone to the areas at ports like I did in Hong Kong, where you're not supposed to be there. When I had a new sailor come to my ship, you know what I did? I told him, dude, hey, listen, I've done this before, man. This is something you're not supposed to do. Now, just because I said it doesn't mean I'm not allowed to tell him what not to do.
That's a completely different circumstance.
Garrison, I just found it really.
I think you might have misheard what I said, because you said if alcohol tells you not to drink. I said if alcohol comes up to you and says don't drink too much like I do, you should probably listen. Like,
you're really that deep. All I'm saying, I found it real ironic that it was about basically the same thing about text messages as well. That
you're talking about Brian Kelly.
He had deleted like a year's worth of text messages, and Sharon had handed in his messages. I just found it ironic.
Juju, let's be honest here. He didn't hand the text messages in. He deleted them, handed the phone in, then they screened them, and then they got them back. So don't say, like, every time you guys say that, you guys act like Jerome Moore's the one who gave the text away. No, he gave his phone away so that they can re-screen it. That's the process that you do.
I can't wait.
And Dallas fan, Brian Kelly's never going to date you. Just
Wait,
I don't know.
Garrison,
he might get desperate enough.
Even if they did that, yo, like Urban Meyer still deleted a year's worth.
Hey, bro, listen, hold on. I got to address Dallas fan really quick.
Can I say this real quick? Can I say this? It'll take 5 seconds. I'm a Buckeye fan. Urban's a scumbag. We all know that, but he's my scumbag.
Oh,
Oh,
yo, heartwarming stuff there, bro.
Where's your registered? Where y'all registered at? We'll get you a wedding gift.
I'm a registered voter in the state of Michigan, so I get to vote on everything that happens here.
All right, look, I just want to address this really quick. Let me address Dallas fan really quick. He says Brian Kelly 113 and 40 over 12 seasons, while Marcus Freeman 32-9 over 3 seasons. Freeman has shown success against ranked opponents, achieving blah 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 blah. Listen, you understand that 113 and 40 is roughly, by the way, that checks out to about 3 losses a year, right? And in 3 years, Marcus Freeman is averaging about 3 losses every year.
Not 5.
It's 3.5.
First of all, don't disrespect us. Don't disrespect us.
Yeah, he's averaging 3.5 losses.
3 losses a year, bro. It's really
one of them
not
to
a
Marshall,
difference.
one of them to Northern Illinois,
and
Marcus
Marcus Freeman
The other one to
has
Marshall.
the benefit of having the program that Brian Kelly left him. Say what you want about Brian Kelly.
Bro.
Thank you, Maize. Hey, Maize, do it before I get, man.
Say what you want about Brian Kelly, bro. He turned the program around, and then he handed Marcus Freeman a viable program that had played for a national championship and competed in 2 college football playoffs when it was just 4 teams competing for college football playoffs. So I don't understand this vitriol that you have for Brian Kelly, who turned your program around because Charlie Weiss couldn't coach.
Notre Dame is like the epiphany of a little brother, bro.
Hey, Maize, as the grand opinion, can I talk to Dallas real quick? One thing I'm never going to let you Notre Dame fans do is talk crap about one of the greatest college football coaches in general of all time. Brian Kelly, not only let's just go down.
Oh, you lost us.
Let's just go
you
down.
Lost us there.
I ain't gonna lie.
That's fine, but facts don't care about your feelings. Brian Kelly's going to the College Football Hall of Fame.
I don't know about that.
No, he is. Like, that's a fact. Like, he's going to the College Football Hall of Fame.
No, he will.
So he not only he created the greatest D2 college football dynasty.
Shout out Lakers, bro.
That still lasts till today. He went to Cincinnati and brought them 6. Not Cincinnati, but he went to it was Cincy. Went to Cincy.
Yep.
Cincy at that point had never won like that in their life. Then goes to Notre Dame, which at the time, I think people are forgetting this for Notre Dame. That was a transition during the early 2000s or coming out of the late early 2000s where people weren't really going to Notre Dame like that. It's a private school, so it is hard to get in there because you can't.
Does he have a natty at all?
Huh?
No.
Does he have even as assistant coach? Does he have a natty?
No,
he's never been an assistant coach.
Okay,
he's always been a head coach. Which says something about him. And then Dallas fan, I think people need to realize this. Well, this is Brian Kelly's 4th year at LSU, right? So after the 3rd year, I usually take that time to like judge a coach. Let's be honest here. Nick, he got the 2 national championships that he was never going to win with Notre Dame talent. Had he had LSU talent, who knows?
Right.
So it's not like he can't coach.
Yeah, you gotta chill, bro. I mean, I get it. He left in a bad way. I think you guys got informed. He was visiting a recruit when the news broke that he was leaving. That's never a good thing. Brian Kelly has his faults. He went on. He said, him and his family. We get it. He could be a little off kilter too. But bro, his time at Notre Dame was a success for your program.
It was.
Yeah, how do y'all feel about that situation with the player? What's his name?
I think it's I think that is nasty to try and put that on a coach. I get why people want to do that, but I think that's gross.
Put that player
ultimately, I agree.
Because on the football field, you have medical staff everywhere. Like there's a lot more that goes into that than y'all just saying that kid died. Because you got to understand what you're actually saying. You were saying that kid solely died because of him.
No, wait.
I'm not doing
dead. He was just on Ryan Clark's pivot.
I'm sorry, you're not dead, but you're talking about the kid not dead. I'm talking about somebody, but you're talking about the kid that has that. Like I think it's nasty to put that on that coach when there's medical staff all over the field.
No, I think that what they're pissed off about is he never reached out. Like as a head coach, and like him to have a headaches going on, and him to ultimately have that, the brain injury, and him basically not being able to talk right. Like they were pissed off.
I forget. I did read something though. I forget what it was. I should probably go find it, but there was a reason why that happened.
Yeah, like he was just on.
No, like there was a reason why he didn't there was no reach out. He didn't reach out. There's a reason for it. I forgot what it was.
Yeah, they said to this day that he still haven't reached out.
No, but I'm saying there was a reason for why he did it, and honestly, like.
I ain't gonna lie, bro.
I'm gonna be honest, bro. If Brian Kelly reaches out to the kid, what's that gonna do for you, kid?
We show he cared. I mean, bro, come on, bro.
Build
if
morale.
that was one of Garrison, if you were head coach and that was one of your players, you reaching out?
Yeah, absolutely.
Early on, yeah, but I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about right now.
Like right now, yeah.
Whether it's early or whether it's that, bro, that is so inconsiderate.
No. Because here I'm saying again, Juju, I need to go find it. I probably should because I could be wrong.
Go watch the interview too.
Hold Juju. I read something on there was a reason why in the beginning for some months Brian Kelly, a legal reason why Brian Kelly could not reach out to that kid. So when the family came out and said that he had not reached out, there was reasons why. So then when time overlaps, right? Like I love like bringing relationships into this. It's a good way.
I gotta see what this reason is.
Bro, if my girl cheats on me and then a year later wants to call and say sorry. Girl, what? I know. Don't.
That is a terrible analogy.
No, it's not. Juju, listen, bro. For my health, for me mental, like, bro, I'm gonna be honest. It's not really gonna do anything for me. Saying sorry is a word, bro. Like I heard Coach JB talking about that on his show yesterday, bro. Like when people always want to say sorry, like I tell my friends all the time, bro, stop saying sorry. Like I don't need you to say sorry all the time. I don't need sorry. I don't need apologies for everything.
No, I understand what you're saying, but I think the circumstances are different because he could have died. It's not like you cheat on someone that died.
Bro,
it's different from dropping a pass.
Hey, how about this? Hey, Juju, why aren't you asking why the team doctor doesn't reach out to him? Why aren't you asking why the medical staff doesn't reach out to him?
Anybody. He said they have not heard from. I'm not just pinning it on Kelly, bro. I'm saying everyone.
Brian Kelly is the head coach. He's supposed to, the buck stops with the head coach. As we spoke about at the beginning of this show, with whether or not Jim Harbaugh, had knowledge or not, he still has some culpability because he is the leader of the program and stuff like that. So I'm not gonna.
Maize, great job this morning. I thought you laid that out. Like over the last 2 days I've been watching you, you've been laying this out very well. I really appreciate it. Like I don't think you're just being devil's advocate, bro. I think in all honesty, you kind of just see for what it is. And I really want you to understand.
For sure.
about it.
Absolutely, but I'm just saying that that's in that same vein, that's what I'm saying about Brian Kelly in this situation. He is the buck stops with him. He's the head coach, the guy that played for him.
Of course.
So yeah.
And y'all act like Brian Kelly's been the nicest guy ever. Yeah.
In 2010, he had a player that died filming practice.
That's what I'm talking about.
But Brian Kelly is like the fucking JJ Redick. Like, bro, he's just a prick, bro.
but those guys are geniuses, and most geniuses are.
Bro, JJ got outcoached. I ain't trying to hear that, bro. JJ got outclassed in the playoffs.
I mean, his team wasn't good,
bro. When you play your starters,
hold
on. When you play your starters for 24 straight minutes, bro,
he had no choice. You see those bench players,
bro?
Listen. I hate that you got me defending the Lakers.
You have.
That's the last thing I want to do.
Rotate. You had to.
Not in the playoffs.
You think the Warriors got a good bench? They don't,
bro. You think Tom Thibodeau is out here rotating?
Him too.
That's why he don't win. You gotta rotate.
He ain't reached the mountaintop.
Old man LeBron. This ain't Miami LeBron.
You got LeBron at 40 years old playing center.
I don't watch NBA like that, so
you gotta sit him down.
I'm surprised LeBron is even still in the game with how much he flops.
We got our own fucking issues to worry about. Fucking Curry's out for a week, bro.
It's a wrap for y'all.
Wait, you're a Golden State fan, Juju?
I'm a Curry fan, bro.
Don't you ever talk about me bandwagoning, Juju. Don't you ever talk to me about bandwagoning again.
Of course he is.
That's not a bandwagon.
I feel like he could be a Golden State fan.
That's ridiculous. Now that's just ridiculous. How did you even stand to them?
Vanderbilt baseball, Harvard of the South.
You're talking
out of here, Skip Bayless.
Brian Kelly's probably gonna be fired if he doesn't make.
I became
a
fucking fan of Clay Davidson, bro.
I don't know. I think Vanderbilt baseball
authority with his recruiting. Oh,
M3, I'm gonna laugh at everybody when LSU makes it to the playoffs. Nussmeier ends up in New York City, and they're making a deep playoff run. Because there's a couple.
I just want them. I do want LSU to play Notre Dame in the playoff. I want that.
Their roster.
You know
their
what
roster
happened?
is natty,
bro.
Look, Garrison. There's no doubt that their roster is natty or bust. Like
no. All right.
Yes, it is.
Wait, Juju.
PSU. I think Texas as well.
I stopped saying natty or bust.
Who is this? Because
I think that takes away.
He's in minutes to sports chat.
Oh, okay.
But you have to look at a roster and say, bro, that should be natty or bust.
No, but Juju, I stopped saying that probably halfway through 2023 because I was
saying that halfway through 2025 or 4.
Well, no, I said halfway through 2023 because at that time, because I was like, oh, like I was like, this is what I heard. I forgot who said this, but they said, dude, like every year there are multiple teams who can win a national championship.
Mm-hmm.
So then it brings up the fact, bro, like if say if a team is natty or bust, and then another team is technically natty or bust, and the one went like, dude, it's like I don't know.
So those things,
wait. You're saying
both things
Penn
can't be
State
true.
Is not natty or bust?
The reason
you think there's only one team that can be natty or bust?
Who, me?
Yeah.
No, I'm saying multiple teams can be this. So that's why I said
I named multiple teams.
No, I've said I veered away from saying natty or bust because if a team can win a championship, right? Like let's say, well, how many teams do you think can win that championship this year? Ohio State, LSU.
I mean, technically only one
Texas,
team can win it.
I think Notre Dame's going to be in there as well.
Yeah, they will. There's about
who said that?
I did.
Rob, he's right.
Rob, we're muting you. No,
I don't think
they will be. They'll be in the,
I will say, I hope Notre Dame does make it to the playoffs for one simple reason, so that way they can't dodge us when we make it there.
I only think there's a couple teams who have a real shot, bro. Penn State, LSU, Clemson, Texas.
Penn State is natty or bust.
Wait, Juju, you don't think Ohio State can win that championship this season?
No, I don't.
No, can I add on to the Penn State natty or bust?
I don't. I just think there's too much.
Yeah, wait, Rob, no, Juju, hold your thought, Juju. We'll get to that.
Rob.
But so
this is my opinion.
I actually made a video about this. So I do think it's natty or bust for Penn State. They went all, and here's the thing. This is the most Penn State thing that they've done. The problem is on offense, and they hire away Jim Knowles, even though they've always had a top like a top 5, top 10. Their defense has always been
solid,
extremely
very
solid.
good. Yeah,
but they may have the worst wide receiver room in the whole.
They just picked up Penny, bro.
college.
Not this season.
Okay.
They just picked up Penny and the kid from USC. They're gonna be good.
Yeah,
All right.
they got some weapons on for catching the ball.
They got
this
both
year.
running backs back as well, even though they've underachieved.
That's what I'm saying. Like Katron Allen, Nick Singleton, they would have been they could have gone to the NFL draft, but they came back for one more year. That one more run.
Let's be honest.
they're copying the recipe.
They've underachieved.
What?
Those running backs.
No.
Underachieved.
Dude, Katron Allen's really good, dude. Like
they are good, but they haven't done anything.
Wait a second.
They're going to be the best backfield in college.
This
football.
past year was their best season.
I promise you.
This last season was their best, but
I promise you, they won't be
that
the best.
last year they
came in highly touted. Like,
well, I won't. Let me not
very
say they won't be.
expectations were very high.
All right.
I'm about to look up these stats, dude, because
last year they had a good year.
We're not talking about last year. We're talking about they've been there for a while now.
Well, they've been for 3 years.
And you have to really get
That's
down.
that's a while.
Like don't
That's a
we're
while.
not gonna look at the games where they should be.
About
But
to
look
be
at
seen.
the games.
Juju, I think it's wrong to say that they have done that when they've had literally one of the worst wide receiver units, even worse than yours the last few years. They've well, not last year, but their freshman and sophomore year, they had probably the worst wide receiver units in the country, or one of them. On top of that, you guys had JJ for 2 years, so you've had a better quarterback than they did. You've had better offensive lines than they've had.
This past year, their offensive line, bro.
No, Juju, that's 1 year. I'm talking about the 3 years that they've been there. You guys have had better quarterback play in those 3 years. You guys have had better offensive line play in those 3 years. You've had better wide receiver play in those 3 years. So that means that it branches off. Outside of this year, you guys had better tight end play outside of this year. So like those guys are working against the grain more so than other running backs are.
Let's talk about that really quick. You think that Tyler
the 23 offensive line was not very good either.
They're tight end.
What they had, Juju, stop.
You think he's
Penn
better
State
than
ain't the bottom of the
Kristen
barrel
Loveland?
of no offensive line now.
They're
no,
not,
a wide receiver though.
Hold on, Garrison.
Yeah.
You think that Penn State what's his last name? Tyler
Warren.
Tyler Warren. You think he's better than Colston Loveland?
The second best tight end in the class.
Yeah, but it's not because of it. But I think there's certain reasons why I think he's better than Colston Loveland. Like I think Colston Loveland's a better route runner than him.
Right. By a lot.
Yeah.
It's not by a lot.
It's not close.
It's not,
Oh my God, bro!
Are
That's
you asking me a question? Are you asking me like I'm gonna give you like
okay. Yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
He's gonna bring up blocking, but
I think hold on. Like I think he's a fine. You know what? Let's give it to him. Let's say Colston Loveland's a much better route runner than him. I had no problem with saying that.
Mm-hmm.
Good.
That's true.
I think
come on.
I think that I think that they're both good at getting open though. I think that Tyler Warren's
Tyler Warren was schemed open.
I think, bro. Juju, can I ask the question?
No.
Like, hold on.
So I think
Colston Loveland in that system.
Juju, can I ask the question? So I think Tyler Warren though he's better at spectacular catches. He showed that last year. I don't know if you guys see that one touchdown he had when his back is turned and caught the ball one hand.
That to me is nothing though, because Colston Loveland is in a system that it doesn't throw the ball.
I've seen Colston Loveland make similar plays.
Did we see Purdue when he went up in double coverage and got it?
Juju, can I please answer Maize's question?
Yeah, my bad. I'm getting wound up, bro.
If you want to sit here and say that Colston Loveland's a better route runner than him, better receiver than him, fine. I think Tyler Warren's a better runner of the ball than him. I think Tyler Warren is strong. No, I don't have to think this. Tyler Warren is stronger than him. Tyler Warren is bigger than him. Tyler Warren can.
They're both 6'5", 250.
Can I finish? Tyler Warren. hey, Juju, do you understand the difference between taller and bigger? Like taller.
No,
is
I
this
understand.
way.
I know what you're saying. I'm pointing out.
Juju, if you want to interrupt me saying crazy things, let me answer you. Taller is this way. Bigger is this way.
Hey, yo.
Oh, Tyler Ward.
Yo, pause, please.
Pause.
Don't let them force you into a pause, Garrison. Don't
right now, dude.
off your stuff.
Hey, yo, what the fuck?
Don't let them force you into no pause, Garrison.
Wait, Juju.
Let me be for real. I'm trolling.
Question.
I'm trolling.
Is Tyler Warren as big as I'm sorry, is Coastal as big as Tyler Warren as a football player?
Garrison, I just said I'm trolling. Go ahead.
Okay, thank you. Now let me finish.
Loveland, Garrison, isn't Loveland's wingspan longer though? He's got a bigger wingspan.
Tyler Warren's wingspan is just as big as I think. Tyler, that's why it says catch radius is just as good. Mind you, he's a. If you want to sit here and say that he's a much better route runner than Tyler Warren, then I'm allowed to say this. Tyler Warren's a much better blocker than Coastal Loveland. And I don't think it's close.
That's probably true. That's true. That's true.
And in football, Johnny, you agree with me on this, Johnny. If skill-wise players are close, right? Are you going with the bigger, faster athlete or the not so bigger, faster athlete?
Depends on the game.
Tyler Warren's
you're going with the bigger, faster athlete.
The only difference is what kind of offense. How am I trying to use him in this offense? That's the only. That's the only differential.
Wait. Tyler Warren's faster than Coastal Loveland?
I'm asking, what was Tyler Warren's? What was I'll look up Warren's. You look up Coastal.
Well, did Coastal run?
I don't know.
I don't think so. No, he didn't go to the comments. I was asking Garrison if he believes that Tyler Warren is like faster than him. Because we know that.
Juju. I don't think he's faster than him, but I do think he's a better runner of the ball.
You mean like breaking tackles?
Yes, he like
better ball carrier vision.
Like Tavion Henderson is faster than Junkins. Junkins is a better runner of the ball.
I'll give comparisons.
Right,
I would say Tyler Warren is more like a Gronk, and Coastal Loveland is more like a Kelsey.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
That's a great comparison.
Hey, look,
who's better?
Just saying. I'm just saying.
I don't know because they're two different. Well, I don't know.
I do think
eras.
Okay.
I really
where I'll give credit to Tyler Warren is I don't think we're gonna figure it out because I think Coastal Loveland is in a way better situation than Tyler Warren will be in.
Where's Tyler Warren at again?
Colts.
Indianapolis.
He ain't doing nothing.
He's cooked.
He's good.
He's
good.
The Bears with Caleb, with all those weapons over there, and Ben Johnson.
Yeah, that's a better situation.
That's what I'm saying. Where I will give him credit is he's gonna go to a bad situation. So I'm not gonna give him to discredit him. I do think Coastal Loveland is gonna be open in the middle of the field all day. They have weapons over there.
Can I ask you a question? What? Because I've always wanted to go back to this. I think our two fan bases will have some fun with this, especially me and Rob. What happened to all you people that told me Blake Corum and Dominic Edwards were going to get drafted higher than Travion Henderson and Junkins? Because we can all be honest. Maize, Johnny, Juju, and I'm sorry, who's down there? Who's down there?
I don't think I've ever said
Maize and Juju.
No, I didn't say about Donovan Edwards, but I did say it about Blake.
So can we address that? Can we address that?
Hold on, and it would have been true if he didn't have a knee injury.
Stop. No.
Yes, it would have. He was coming out of the draft.
Juju, do you have any proof do you have any writing from a GM or an owner that said, hey, if Blake Corum didn't have that knee injury.
He was mocked day two.
Juju, I have seen players get ACL tears and they still go first round. So I'm not here.
Look, that's my belief. And he was mocked
day
two.
But running back, this is a running back, bro. And where they devalue.
I know I never said that because Blake is little.
I didn't say it about Edwards. I definitely I know I said
the draft is a meat market. So
but here's the thing.
Y'all never said that Dominic Edwards was better than Travion Henderson. None of y'all have ever said that.
I never said that so many times, man.
I never said
that.
Yeah, we'd rather have Donovan Edwards than Travion Henderson.
Donovan Edwards was better.
I never said. First of all, I'm a person who's been very quiet about Donovan Edwards because I have never believed that he was great.
Yeah, I said I hope he's gonna be what.
I have been very calculated and not. Now listen, when he had great games, I sang his praises. I'm gonna be honest.
I'm gonna bet. Listen, because I know about the time and space when it happened. I'm gonna look through, especially you, Johnny, especially
me talking.
I did.
Hey,
I don't
speaking of backtracking. Speaking of backtracking, if you are gonna go back, go back and watch his past videos, much like this one, make sure that you like and comment on those videos.
How about that?
I guarantee that I've liked every single one of their videos.
Yeah, I'm sure he
the
left
only
a comment
thing that I
when it
said
was
about
first
the Trey
posted.
and the Trey and Edwards thing is that I think we argued about on Twitter is up until his Trayvion's last year, right? Even when he had his great freshman year, right? I said in big moments, big games, he had more big games. That's the only thing that I told you on Twitter. But I never said he was better.
And so you said in big games. So what the Ohio State?
He's had bigger games.
So the Ohio State game, right?
He's had the Purdue game, Big Ten championship. He had the national championship.
We're gonna talk about Purdue.
Do you guys really, really, really find that Purdue game to be a big game?
I'm just saying, and it was a conference championship game.
No, bro, the opponent wasn't big, but the game was big. The game, it's a big game.
Okay, but I'm gonna bring up OSU. He had
Maize,
200.
better than that.
I'm gonna bring up the national championship.
It's the situation, bro. It was situational,
Right.
not the opponent. Of course,
I mean, he had
comparison, Garrison.
out of
he had
Purdue.
like 600 yards in 3 games.
Wait, hold on.
Who's Purdue's best player?
I wanted to finish the point here.
What do you say?
I'm at I'm asking who's Purdue's best player?
Hey, Garrison, let's compare. Let's compare this.
Okay, even if it's
let's compare
not,
this.
it's not that. Hold on. Even if it's not that, he had the national championship game, the Ohio State game, and the Penn State game.
Look,
wait, the Penn.
He went. That was 2022.
Was that the 400-yard game that you guys had rushing?
I'm saying it was a top 10 matchup. I want to say in big games.
No,
he is Purdue.
Juju, I'm asking you. And you say, are you saying he had a big game against Penn State in 2022 or 2023?
No, 2022.
No, 2022.
2023, he broke it open for us.
No, hell no. 2022. I mean,
2022 was the 400-yard rushing game, right?
Yeah, fact.
Yeah, Blake Corum
and
crazy.
Yeah. Everybody got off that, bro. Your grandma would have got off.
He still had a big game.
Don't discredit him now, Gary.
But you gotta stop trying to discredit all.
Because if you want to do that,
I'm not. I get what you
hold on. If you want to do that, then you're saying that his national championship game wasn't big because Blake Corum had himself a day too.
Well, no. I will tell you honestly how I feel about those two running backs performances in the championship game. I think that Blake Corum, because like I said, I don't know if your guys' 23 offensive line was like it wasn't bad, but it wasn't all that great. So it
was better after the injury.
So I give Blake Corum and like JJ a lot of credit for what they did behind that offensive line. Mm-hmm. With that being said, if I remember correctly, Blake Corum was cowbelling in that game. Donovan Edwards got big plays off of broken plays that went the other way. It wasn't like he's doing what Blake did, jump cut after jump cut, making boys miss, making boys scared to tackle you. That's not what happened.
No, his second touchdown was absolutely not broken.
Yeah, the first one was. The second one
was it? All right, catch your question.
He made a cut. He made a great cut.
Was it a one cut go?
Yeah, but it's still not a broken play.
That's fair. But what I'm saying is
the first one you're talking about where he bounced it outside, then fine.
Yeah, but my thing is this, right? Like when we talk about,
but it's still a big game, Garrison.
We won off of that. 14-13,
bro. I understand what you mean by like what he does at big games, right? My thing is, bro, like when I think about big run game performances, bro, I'm thinking about like the performances, bro, that are memorable. Those are two big plays. I don't think it's a memorable performance, if you get what I'm saying. So when me and you had that discussion about Trayvion and Donovan, bro, when we talk about who's the better running back, the conversation about what Donovan does in those big games doesn't matter if you're not better than him. Especially
I'm not saying that he was better. I'm just saying in that context. That was is that he's had the bigger moments to that point.
And Juju, what I was saying to you, my boy, my brother from another mother, is that if me and you are talking about who's better at basketball, right? Who's better at basketball?
Yeah, no, I totally agree with you.
But you tell me, oh yeah, but I did hit the game-winning 3 at the Gus Macker. I'm gonna ask you, but who's better at basketball?
No, I 100% agree, and which is why I said I think in another area where I think they're the same back, and only in this area is because they're both one cut backs.
I'm gonna tell you what, Trayvion Henderson is Kobe. and Donovan Edwards is Robert Ory.
But I just want to hear you say. I just want to hear you say it. Hey, Garrison, I just want to hear you say it, bro.
You got that off.
Hey, Robert Ory at 8 points a game missed a big shot.
He's a good support player. That's what he's saying,
bro. We can all agree. Trayvon Harrison is a one cut back.
Yeah, but he's more of a.
Oh my God! This man is not, bro. Every one of his highlights,
he's more of a complete back at this point, bro.
He's more of a complete right now than he was last night.
He's complete. He's pretty complete.
Here's the thing. I think that Donovan's biggest asset, his big, where he could have helped the most is in the passing game. I think he's a better receiving back than he is a pure running back.
I can agree with that. Yeah.
Like Travion Henderson is.
I think Michigan didn't utilize him the right way.
Absolutely. There were no halfback screens. When's the last time you saw Michigan run a halfback screen?
I think we saw one.
That's a great point, guys. That's a great point.
Were we not going to do it, like, bro? None of those back, even Quinshawn, none of them, they weren't better than Blake.
Right.
They got drafted higher because obviously the measurables and everything.
I don't know, man.
Hold on real quick. Hold on real quick.
They were not better, bro.
Hold on.
This man will find a way.
We doing it,
bro. There's no way we're bringing up Jeremiah Love, bro. We don't give a fuck.
Wait, Juju. Do you think Blake Corum is better than Jeremiah Love?
Huh?
Do you think Blake Corum is better than Jeremiah Love?
Yeah.
I don't. I'm not going to say that.
Hold on. Because people are confusing college and the draft. The draft,
right.
The big thing about the draft is how big are you? That's 60% of the battle in going into the draft. How big are your hands?
Bro,
how fast are you?
Hold on, bro. Because I'm not.
That is a big part of it.
Hold on. I'm not going to let this slide. I think everyone, oh my goodness, is forgetting what this man Blake was doing before he was on pace with Derrick fucking Henry. Like, we're not going to do that.
Bro,
he still wasn't going to go that high because he's little.
No, I'm not saying I'm talking about the draft. I'm talking about what he did in college.
Like a scat back side.
Before injury, bro. He was one big game away from probably a Heisman.
Hey, Juju, I'm going to tell you what I told Ohio State fans with Jack Sawyer, okay? Because a bunch of Ohio State fans were like, oh my God, JTT went second round before Jack Sawyer. Oh my God, Jack Sawyer went into the fourth. Yeah. You know why? Because Jack has short arms. Jack has no moves. Jack has no bend, bro. When
yes, we're not disagreeing on the draft.
Wait, Juju. When players leave our colleges, bro, you gotta take that fandom out. You gotta take that emotion out of it, bro.
Yeah, bro.
I do that very well.
Did I not say?
Where are you?
Blake Corum is smaller. He is slower.
Oh my God, bro, you're missing what I'm saying. I said in college.
But you're saying he was gonna get drafted higher, which comes into what
Juju.
In college, bro, I'm telling you, he was mocked after his junior year. He was mocked day 2 after his junior year.
All right. Why?
Before he got injured, he was mocked.
Hold on, let me flip this question on you, Garrison. Are Travion or Quinshawn better than Jeremiah Love?
No, hell no.
All right,
Jeremiah
not better than Blake either.
Jeremiah Love, bro. There's a reason why Buckeye fans wanted Jeremiah Love. Like Jeremiah Love is different, bro. He's different. He's a different.
Who says Corum over Love?
Bro, I think you guys have for running back, Jeremiah Love is a better prospect in my eyes. Than what's his name? Genty. He's a better prospect. Like
what? Oh, okay, all right. I get okay. As a prospect, I can go with you.
But no, real quick though. You don't think Jeremiah? If Jeremiah Love was at Boise State, you don't think he would have done that?
Mm-mm.
What the fuck? No.
You know, listen, guys.
Bro,
you know
you're not running.
Genty
Hold on. Did you see what Genty was
bro.
doing to? First of all, let me just say this. We saw Jeremiah Love against y'all in the national championship game.
4 carries.
That's different. Wait. Are you comparing Oregon's defense to Ohio State's?
No. If I can finish, please. Thank you. All right. Genty, we saw what he did against Penn State. Now, granted, I'm pissed off that they were handing him the football at the end of the game. It cost me $40 to Johnny and TJ because he did eventually get 100 yards.
And which they were going to force feed.
That was bullshit.
They was going to do it.
But he was better against them, certainly, than Jeremiah Love was against you, I'm not even trying to compare the apples to oranges there. But he was running over grown men out there against, or it's not like he had a great offensive line.
You know what Jeremiah Love's average per carry was?
I know who Jeremiah Love was doing that against too.
Bro, I don't care who's blocking.
Okay, his yards per carry against who? Or for the year?
Bro, for the season.
7.
Yes. 6.9. Bro, right. I don't care who you are behind. If you are running for 7 yards,
wait, you don't care?
Carry.
You don't think that matters?
No, bro. I saw him running the ball, bro. I saw him every week. I watched about maybe 8 games of Notre Dame last year. My love is a ball. Like and you know what, Moose? Call him,
he's
man,
a dog.
If you want, bro. I don't care. Like
I remember that
play
against
like
Penn State,
ball, bro. So like, and as someone who, like, I grew up playing running back, went to college before I moved to safety as a running back. So like I know this position, bro. Jeremiah Love,
I do too.
Do you know what Ashton Genty's average was?
Blake Corum, huh?
You know what Ashton Genty's average was?
Yeah, and, against his schedule, what was it?
No. Don't do his schedule now.
Don't do that, bro.
Because by the way, Jeremiah Love played against the ACC, so we're not going to do that. But
M3, that matters. That matters though, M3, because who was that quarterback from BYU that went first round?
Man, what? No.
Because I told everybody he didn't play his normal schedule. Go see who he played during COVID.
Mm-hmm.
And no one wanted to check that out. They said he's gonna be good. No, he's not. I'm not saying
Jeremiah Love was out there.
Notre Dame plays harder competition, Maize. Come on,
slightly.
Bro, I think underplaying.
What was his average? What was his average?
Year, bro?
6.9.
Genty's?
Yeah.
With a worse schedule.
Slightly.
Okay.
Slightly.
What was Notre Dame's passing?
What was Notre Dame's best regular season win? Or game? Just forget win. What was their best game in the regular season?
Georgia.
Regular season.
Oh, regular season? I don't know.
USC?
USC probably.
Right. So Genty had a better regular season opponent, best regular season opponent.
Right? Oh, you mean the first game of the year?
Texas A&M
first game of the year when he went ham on Oregon. Don't just.
What I do want to know is like how much was Notre Dame throwing the ball?
They were a run first offense.
Yeah.
I really want to know is why do you believe? Because like, listen, like we can have the Travion Junkins conversation all day, but why do you believe Blake Corum is a better running back than
bro?
Jared?
What I'm telling you,
bro,
you
do not.
I think, bro, everyone is undermining like when it comes to this what he did before injury.
Like, so you're saying you got to separate I'm separating college. You started in the draft.
No, I was answering his question. Like he's just like I was like he was mock day 2. Now, do I personally think he would go out? No, because of his measurables. No, anyone in the right mind
over a lot of these dudes because he had 27 TDs.
That's what
I don't care what you say when we start talking about touchdowns.
Like I'm not dumb.
I'm talking winning.
You're gonna take the bigger back.
I mean, we can all be okay. Hold on 1 second.
Don't do it.
Be fair. No, but we can all stop. We can all I'll give you an example. Take Melvin Gordon's last year in college at Wisconsin, right? Mm-hmm. Now he had about the same amount of touchdowns, but we all know, we all saw that season. Those touchdowns look way different than Blake Corum's, who, this is fact, over 90% of his touchdowns came within the 5-yard line.
I'm not speaking about the touchdowns.
I know, no, but Johnny.
I am. Once you get to the 5, now you can approve this now, Garrison.
Now
where's the hardest place to score?
No, I agree.
Where's the hardest place to run it on in?
No, Johnny, I agree with you on that.
I just think it's overly. Hold on, I think it's overly impressive
When don't you know the run, all them touchdowns.
When you know the run is coming and you still put up the numbers he did without any help, that bro, what he did that season, bro, being on pace with
JJ's not help.
Huh?
Did you think JJ McCarthy was a top 3 quarterback that season?
No.
You didn't think JJ McCarthy
in 22?
In 23?
No, we're not talking about 23. We're talking about 22.
That's when he had 27 touchdowns?
I'm talking about 23.
No, he's talking about 22.
He's talking about
23, bro.
Yeah, I'm talking about
22 because he would have entered the draft if he didn't get hurt. He already openly said that.
Okay, but all right, so let me ask you a question. Tell me what Blake, because you say he's a better running back. So tell me what Blake Corum does better than Jeremiah Love.
Bro, you're missing what I'm saying.
I think he's shiftier.
Okay.
He has better vision, in my opinion.
Yeah.
He's got a lower center of gravity, so it's harder to take down.
Better. No, this is what we're not going to debate. He's a better pass blocker. Not debating that.
No, bro.
Blake Corum was
Juju, this is what I'm talking about, bro. It was in the scouting report, Juju. It was in the scouting report, Juju, for Blake Corum that it was a concern about him blocking because of how small he is.
He's got a better smile.
Go back and watch the games, bro. That's all. Bro. Bottom line, I'm not talking about the 23 season.
You think he's shiftier than Love?
I think he has better vision.
The better vision thing, I completely disagree with you.
That's my opinion. I'm telling you what my opinion is.
Okay, you're right.
So you don't think he's shiftier?
No, I said he is.
Okay. I
look, bro, that 2022 season, I just think people are undermining it.
Juju, tell me what he does better than him.
I just did.
So it's only those things.
Let me tell you this. He definitely had more success against Ohio State.
Breaking tackles, bro. I think
he beats Ohio State better than Jeremiah Love.
You watch Notre Dame football, Juju?
Yeah, bro. Yes. All these backs.
If a guy averages 6.9,
I'm telling you, bro. Asking what my opinion is, bro, and I'm telling you.
But Juju,
you can't get mad. That's like me asking your opinion on something and you're getting mad at it.
I'm not mad at you. I'm not mad at your opinion, Juju. I think that when a guy averages basically 7 yards a carry, and you say
that's bro. He's a great back. I'm not saying he's not, and obviously he's going to be a better prospect off of measurables alone. But I'm telling you, I think people are I'm separating the two. Like a college back, bro. What Blake Corum did before injury in that year.
How many touchdowns did Blake Corum have that season in 22?
I ain't gonna lie. Notre Dame's schedule was boo.
Thank you.
Like 1600. I'm pretty sure 1600 before injury.
Yeah, 16.
1600 before injury.
He was on pace. If you really look at it statistically, he was better than Derrick Henry.
Give some real quick. You say he had 1600 before that Illinois game.
He got hurt at halftime.
Yeah, he got hurt.
I think he had like 1500.
How many carries was he at that point?
I have no idea.
Love all year had 163 carries and 17 rushing touchdowns on 163 carries.
That's good.
I'm not, bro. Look, I am not saying he's bad. I'm saying this is my opinion. And if you look at that year too, in less attempts, bro, he was better. Bro, statistically, he was better than Derrick Henry that year.
Bro, wait.
Hey, hold on. No, Garrison, but look, let's be objective here.
I think you're like,
it's a fact, but
you're misleading what I'm saying.
I know it's a fact, but I think that's revisionist history. If you don't go back and see the teams that Alabama,
I'm not. Look, again.
First of all, you gotta look at who we played.
I'm saying he was on track and better in that season. I'm not taking anything away from Derrick Henry, bro. I think you're undermining what Blake Corum has done that year, bro.
No, you know what, Juju? I think I see what the problem is. I'm not undermining Blake Corum. I am just because I big up somebody doesn't mean I'm necessarily tearing someone else down. I don't think Blake Corum is a special athlete or a special football player. I think Jeremiah Love is a special athlete, a special football player.
That's your opinion. I'm not gonna take that away from you.
Do you think Blake Corum is special?
Like you talking about a freak athlete?
I think Blake was special.
No.
I think he was very special. We talk like in terms of a freak athlete.
No. In terms of like when you compare him to other football players, other running backs, do you believe? Because I think it's rare for me to say this for anybody. Do you think Blake Corum is a special football player.
I need more context on what you
I don't
mean.
know what
You're right. I got you, Johnny. Special to me is a Genty, a Love, a Ezekiel Elliott. Like
in terms of what he did, yeah.
No, as a no, bro. His skill.
Okay. Oh, as a football,
football player.
You talking like Todd Gurley? You talking about freak of nature like Todd Gurley or something?
Oh my god!
I don't know what he's saying.
I've seen a lot of.
I know what you're saying, and the answer is no.
Thank you, bro.
The fact that we have to get this many,
no, I don't think
qualifiers. Let's know what the answer is.
Is he special or not? Like, come on.
I think he is. I'm trying to see if are you saying he's a freak of nature like Todd Gurley?
Johnny,
yeah, like he's not that.
Remember when we said I know what dog means, Johnny? You know like I'll give you an example. Coach Britton. I've seen football players put up insane stats. JT Barrett put up insane. JT Barrett has Big Ten records that Drew Brees used to have. JT Barrett is not a special football player.
Not at all.
No.
That's what I'm saying, bro. He's not special.
Right. I get what you're saying. Let me run down who Jeremiah Love put these numbers up against. All right. After Texas A&M in week 1, which is that was a good win on the road, by the way. He then played Northern Illinois, where he was held under 100 yards. He played the Purdue Boilermakers, Miami of Ohio Redhawks.
The schedule is a joke.
Louisville Cardinals, whose defense was not. Their defense was not.
No,
the Stanford Cardinals weren't good at all. Georgia Tech, who was a serviceable team last year.
They were
still
Navy,
not a good defense.
Navy was decent at one point. You know who wasn't good at all?
This Navy, stop.
Florida State was not good at all a season ago. Virginia was not good at football. Army last year, USC was not a good football team.
They were probably the best defense players
those numbers up.
Their defense is not that good. We ran all over them with a tight end at quarterback.
No. Like I have like I have like a weird parameter for like good teams, but I'm crazy, bro. I'm crazy.
But we're just speaking about the defenses he played.
You know that USC team wasn't good.
No, I don't think they're a bad team. Like there are a lot of games.
Just because you bad, that don't mean you good either.
I don't think they're good, but I think
just because you're not bad don't make you good.
No, I'm not saying they're good, Johnny, but I don't think they're a bad football team.
It was okay. It was average.
If Gorham went to Ohio State, you would be on this panel fighting for your life, saying he's the best.
Colorado State, Hawaii, UConn, Maryland, Iowa, good defense. Indiana, Penn State, good. Well, you guys throttled them that year. Michigan State, Rutgers, Nebraska, Illinois.
And Illinois,
like you guys forget what the Big Ten was.
And Nebraska,
Illinois was a top 10 defense.
Big Ten got better defenses than those teams he played. Yeah. Big Ten is known.
You really want to go
that Google schedule is not.
See, we can do that all day. I'd love to compare
that. Colorado State, Hawaii, UConn.
I can't believe I've been on here for 3 hours.
Yeah, I just at that time.
What the hell am I doing?
Nebraska always packs a defense.
Yeah.
Huh?
That's Nebraska always. That's not true. Not always. That's not true.
Recently, in recent history, they've had.
You want to compare those Big Ten defenses?
The last like 4 or 5 years, they've always had a defense, like every year.
No,
skip the non-conference. Just go straight to the Big Ten.
This is what we're gonna do now. Because I've always been the person to do this. But if we're gonna do this now, are we gonna discredit people for who they're playing now? Even though
if we talking stats,
wait. Even though because you guys are sticking to that schedule. As if you guys didn't see them.
I'm just talking about the season, bro. Like I just think people undermine it, bro. That's all.
No, I'm gonna pick apart the stats. If we gonna go off a guy's stats, I'm gonna look at who you playing. I did the same thing with Genty this year.
You saw Penn State. You saw Georgia. You saw those games happen.
So let's
I did.
Let's keep in mind.
And I can pick it apart even more. He had 1,100 yards in 16 games. That's an NFL schedule.
All right, let's keep in mind.
But you can't compare it to others.
163, Johnny, brother John, you are smart. 163 carries though.
It's still more games.
Listen. We can, look, there will be another day we can talk about these things. All right. My God, we're shutting the damn live down. Good night, everybody. I want everybody.
Can I just say
Damn,
something
bro,
real
you
quick?
made that an outro. That's crazy. But I
When
thought
did
it was
you
in the
make
heat of
that?
battle with Connecticut. That shit dropped.
Maze be in the lab, boy.
Hey, man, make me one, bro. What the hell?
The wording at the end there, that was me.
Yeah, the Lichmax did the
Nice.
the fire burn and all
Good,
that.
man.
But yeah, get with Lichmax, by the way. But it's a finder's fee to me.
Wait, it's
but
Lich.
Lich,
Yeah.
right. Did you think it was Lynch Max? Yo, you are a wild boy.
I would not be out here with a name like that.
Yo,
That boy Lynch into the max.
Lynch Max. That boy, he's like.
I'm sorry, everybody. I'm sorry, Garrison.
He's the poster child for white supremacy.
I have a
Lynch
sick
Max.
viewer, guys.
Whoa! Don't put that on me. Don't put that on me.
I'm joking, bro. I'm joking. All right. Anyway, let's go. Let's get out of here. Juju hates white football players. We know
Bro,
that.
I hate when people say that.
Hey,
you be doing it. You do it to yourself
I say white
now,
boy because
brother.
I can say that shit. I'm white. I'm half
Hey,
white.
Juju, you know what's crazy, bro? You know what's crazy?
Juju, you got to turn your camera on sometimes.
Hey, Juju, you know what's crazy,
Yeah,
bro?
you probably right.
It's okay, Juju. I've been telling people I'm tired of black quarterbacks in Dallas.
No, bro, but I didn't say white boy because like
what is happening,
funny, bro?
See?
Yo, Rob,
See?
tell the people where they can find you. What you got going on, man?
All right, so I was gonna say one more thing about the Blake Corum thing. Let's keep in mind the type of offensive lines he was running behind. Those were Joe Moore Award winning lines, same as like you plug in any and this is unpopular opinion, just like the Dallas Cowboy lines, you plug in any running back and they thrive. So that's all I'm gonna say.
Donovan Edwards did not.
He definitely did not.
That's all I'm gonna say. But yeah, you could find me at Buckeyes Battle Cry. Battle Cry is one word. Thanks for having me guys on. I love coming on talking about ball. But I'll be in the scene a lot more. So
absolutely, man. Johnny Oden Jr. Let the people know where they can find you. What you got going on?
YouTube, Johnny Oden Jr. Twitter, Johnny Oden Jr. We got the car lives. I'm also on the call-in show with Voice of College Football Michigan now, weekly.
Oh yeah.
Me and TJ, and also, the car lives be coming when there's something to talk about. If there's nothing to talk about, I don't want to get on there. But the call-in shows on my channel Sundays. Garrison usually join, Maize will join usually, Boxing Maniac, Marmar, the whole crew. And yeah. So besides that, we're just waiting on content, something to come out of Michigan.
Anything positive,
please. Help me.
I gotta get on that.
Lich Max, tell the people where they can find you, man.
You can find me on Twitch and on YouTube at LichMax626.
Yes, sir. Make sure you reach out to
on
Lich
YouTube.
Max. Yeah.
Yep, YouTube and Twitch. LichMax626.
I'll give you subscribe
All right.
right now.
Garrison, tell the people where they can find you. What you got going on?
Yeah, man. You can find me at Ohio State, the Voice of College Football, Mondays and calling shows on Thursdays, where you can find Ohio State fan Juju calling in sometimes.
That's crazy.
Before he goes into the Michigan space with Johnny.
Can't never call me a hater.
And then pretty soon here, not sure we do talk pretty soon, but Bryce now be coming back with the Scarlet and Blue show for all your lovely, friendly hate of Ohio State, Michigan. And then, I got some big news coming.
Very nice.
Big
Very
interview.
nice.
Big interview.
They're entering the transfer portal.
Right.
So, wait, for what sport?
What?
No, I'm out of the NFL portal now after we, I was sad in getting Mecca.
That's shameful, bro.
I have no shame.
That's
we know.
Hey,
you run with Ohio State being from Michigan. We know you have no shame.
Guys, I'll be honest with you. I'm only loyal to a few sports teams: Buckeyes, Tigers, Red Wings,
and Lions.
The Lions.
Vanderbilt.
Baseball.
Yeah, Vanderbilt baseball.
Hey, yo, get out of here, bro.
All right, guys. See ya.
Follow me everywhere at Maize Madman. Mondays, Eminem Mondays. We will be back We are working on something big for that. We'll let you know as it becomes available. So next time, stay angry, my friends. I'm upset.
Ladies and gentlemen, this might be our best season ever. My ratings, they're about to go through the roof.
All right, now I'ma calm down. So I just don't get that all that Maize and that lock and all that. I just don't get it. And how the
Oh my God, we're shutting the damn live down. Good night, everybody. Gentlemen. All right.
You getting on the Warzone?
Yeah, I'm about to hop on Warzone right now.
I spend too much fucking hours during the week on this shit, bro.
You gotta throw me in friend
Bro, I might as well
invite
start
there.
a damn show, bro. This shit is getting
Oh, you what?
concerning.
You gotta throw me a friend invite on there.
Oh, yo, what's your is it Lichmax 626?
I'm pretty sure that's what it is. Yeah, I think I
yeah.
changed to that.
Yeah, we'll get you in there. All right.
I'm finna watch the spring game again. Fuck it.
That way, that way, one of these freakers I can hop in and squad up with y'all.
Johnny. I ain't gonna lie. I need football.
All right, man. I'm gonna holler at y'all.
All right, peace.
All right.